Hello, everyone. What is going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back finally to the TNT podcast. Finally, it's back. Finally,
it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
I last saw you. No, all right, fine.
Yeah, sorry, it's been busy. You know, life stuff happens. I was traveling for work. There's a whole bunch of things that have been going on, but we're back. We have a metric ton of stuff to talk about, so we really got to move through it quick. But we have a couple actual pretty big stories, a lot of Weeb, and a lot of watched and played. And I'm hearing myself echo through Freeman's mic a tiny bit.
Echo.
I have no idea how it's.
He's gonna crash out.
And your mic peaked when you were saying that.
It did pick up my laughter.
You're still peaking. You're still peaking.
But it did pick up you talking through my headphones when I'm legitimately a foot away from my mic.
Freeman, you're
Tim
literally.
Is loud as fuck, that's why.
What the fuck? You're. Freeman, your mic the entire time sounded like this is literally going peaking.
Interesting. I'm not speaking that loud. So, all right. I wonder if I have an issue with the noise gate at the top end because it's so good at picking up the squeaky sound of your voice coming out of my headphones.
Squeaky.
But it can't seem to figure out my normal speaking voice a foot away either. So I don't know what it's doing. No, the sound.
You sound like
Jesus.
a bitch, Tim.
No, seriously,
like a bitch. That's what I heard.
Freeman's audio issues turned into me sounding like me being loud and squeaky. Jesus Christ.
When you take your headphones off, you put them on the table, you hear a voice coming from a bit away, but you can't hear it. What sound would you use to describe that coming out of your headphones?
Well, apparently squeaky, I guess, because of
I swear to God.
Oh man.
See, you know what? You know what the moral of the story is? AI Slop could never do this. AI could never take our jobs. But Nvidia's gonna try.
All right, I've got an interesting idea. I'm going to attempt to wrap the back of my mic.
Oh my God.
Dampening. Except my mic arm is not strong enough to hold a microphone and a sweatshirt at the same time.
Freeman, the second you said, I'm going to attempt to... And then it cut out for a few seconds.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we can. But it was really funny that it cut dead the second you said you were going to try something.
Yeah, because I totally pulled out the cable by doing this.
Oh my God. Nvidia, AI Slop, DLSS5. It's ugly. It's terrible. Nvidia's trying to make money. The whole stock market's a joke. What else? What am I missing?
This one's interesting because the CEO is getting zero flack for this. So he goes on stage and he says, yeah, we're not taking the already processed image and adjusting it. That would be insane. That's not what we're doing. And they come up with the technical design review about a week later that says, that is exactly what this is. The CEO went and told you the technology isn't what it is. This is straight up just a beautification filter on an already rendered image. There's nothing in here that goes and takes the image before it's rendered by your game engine to make it look good. It takes the already post-processed image by the game and then applies an additional filter on top of it.
Let's also be clear. It's not... They would call it beautification. I would call it the AI slopification because it makes it look like every other AI image smoothness that's ever come out and strips away like all of the character design and uniqueness of everything.
No, as quoted by the Nvidia CEO himself, it is not quote AI slop. You were all wrong.
Yeah, I'm not.
Don't you guys have phones?
I'm not defending it. It's 100%,
same energy.
It's 100% the point. Ultimately, the technology says, hey, we know what in a given image what the average human thinks is a good quality to an image, and we're going to apply that universally to anything without real discretion. So like one of the big things that they brought up during the demo was, here, look at this dark image. Let us brighten up, make it look nice and cool. Except they ignore the fact that it's not cognizant of where the light source is in any given frame.
Well, but it's also not cognizant of...
Humans love when light sources are to the front and to the left.
But why is it... But it's also not cognizant of the fact that maybe it's dark for a fucking reason, because the artist who built the game said this should be dark.
Yeah, but the average person doesn't know what they want.
The average person is a loser. Like what?
What the algorithm thinks they'll want.
Stop. All right.
Yes.
Ugh.
See, this is why you ain't at the tippy top. This is why you're not a big dog.
I don't want to be. It's miserable. It's horrible. It seems terrible.
What do you mean? But shmoney.
I like feeling like I produce something every day and actually do work.
Listen, I want to be at the top because I want to make money well, this is a Freeman will get this reference. Oh, we could talk about that. We didn't talk about that. Well, we'll talk about it later. But when people glorp on all of my slop,
Glorp glorp.
yeah, they glorp it. Freeman knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes, glorp the AI slop.
Did we talk about that during the last episode? I know I was almost finished with it.
No,
All right.
because we had the book club like.
Oh, that's right. That was very recent.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
So, yeah, and then what else happened with this? It was oh, do you guys know the tech behind the demo too? Like what they were presenting it on?
I mean, weren't they running like two 4090s or something for this? Like
250
Jesus Christ.
90s, something like that. Yeah, 250 series cards slide together.
Yeah.
So like
Wait, do you say that like a single word? Interesting.
what, sly?
Yeah. I've always heard it just as SLI. Like I've never heard someone say
I wanna
sly
know
it together.
What fake poser is telling you SLI together?
I've never heard this word pronounced out loud before. I've only read it.
Thank
So
you.
That's...
You know what? That's actually probably a better way to put it, to be fair. I've only ever seen it written as an acronym. No. You're right.
Wrong.
No, Freeman put it a better way. I've never heard it said in either context. I've only read it and my brain never made it a word. Because I'm not rich enough to have two graphics cards in SLI together.
It goes on the list of shit that I wish I had just because if I had fuck you money, that's what I would have.
Tyler, I don't remember the PC of my dad's that for work that we got to build.
But you didn't let me work on.
Oh yeah, you weren't there. It was Friedman.
Racist.
I don't even think that had SLI. I think that only had a single card in it back when we built it.
Yeah, he only had one.
I
So
wish I knew.
I don't think I've ever
Wish you
actually
did.
attached an SLI bridge between two cards before.
Me neither. I've been tempted to do that actually. Side note, like because I have my 1080, I'm kind of tempted to do that instead of going and spending a bunch of money on a graphics card in the future. But
you would be it would get you nothing in return.
well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I think it's just not worth compared to just getting a newer card.
Correct.
Speaking of which, though, that actually segues pretty perfectly into the next topic because there's kind of been developments on this topic. I know this is just about the PS5, but this also kind of ties into the whole AI buying up RAM and everything like that discussion because that's what led to this price increase. So
How about just the PS5 for this part too?
yeah, so to go with the original story, or even more original, kind of tied to Nvidia and everything, but like so. AI is obviously going crazy, and parts are being bought up everywhere for computers. The biggest shortage about, a month and a half ago was RAM, where everyone was like, oh my god, every RAM stick is the world. The RAM is like 10 times more expensive. It's crazy. And then all these companies went, I just heard myself so clearly through Freeman's mic for a second there. That was crazy.
Well,
The RAM started going crazy on everything, and a lot of companies who manufacture consumer goods went, hey, we're either not going to deliver things like new phones or new products, like RAM companies going, we're going to shut our consumer line and just serve AI. As part of this, one of the biggest things is that Sony announced the PS5 is going to go up in price. Crazy for a console that's now a couple years old to go up in price halfway through its life. I feel like we haven't really seen this before, right?
We haven't. So this is almost always a case of, especially with Sony, it's the manufacturing was always expensive at the beginning, and then it ended up tapering off when they either sized up or parts just became more
just got
available.
cheaper.
Like
yeah,
RAM was doubling in price over time, but we've seen the opposite happen where we're no longer getting the kind of like, I forget what the term was. It was like a double every 2 years or something on
the something law. What's the law?
It's not Moore's law.
I thought it was
like doubling the number of connections
capacitors?
on a microprocessor or something like that, or
Yeah.
having the size on a capacitor. Point is, we stopped seeing that. So the expectation was that we weren't going to see the reduction in manufacturing costs, but now it's just like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just the hard drive and the RAM being more expensive on the PS5 that's driving this up, and nothing else about the manufacturing that's causing a pricing increase.
So, the funny part, though, is that now RAM is crashing. Because a couple of big, I think, what is it, OpenAI, like, reneged on a $65 billion deal or some crazy big number to, like, buy up 40% of the world's RAM. So now RAM is flooding the market again.
The thing about this is it's largely a speculative market because a lot of the OpenAI deal was about buying the production capacity for 2027.
Yeah.
So now 2027 production capacity is open, but the existing RAM that everyone's selling right now was, for the most part, already produced prior to any of these announcements.
Well, but also, Freeman, I mean, we live in the speculator world. I mean, we live in the scalpers of Pokemon. We live in the world where people go into Costco and they rip RAM out of computers to try to sell it like a catalytic converter. Like,
absolutely, nothing's actually worth anything, but everything has the potential to be worth something in 1 to 2 financial quarters.
All that to say, the reason I'm still looping this in back to the PS5 is the PS5 price increase has happened. I don't know how much the jump was. Was it $100 a unit?
I think so.
Yeah.
Which brings the PS5 suspiciously close to $1,000. Do you guys?
Not exactly,
the
but
Pro
closer.
is 900.
The Pro's 900?
Yeah, I'm curious what the PS5 base no disk drive looks like now.
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Is there a world where PS6 Pro breaks $1,000?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Remember when they were crucified for 500?
I still hear the soundbite of $599 ringing in my head.
The crucifixion they went through, and now we could hit 4 figures for a console on the next gen.
Nothing. It seems like we're just trending back up to what consoles used to be when consoles first started coming out.
Well, yeah, the inflation and everything or the conversion rate, but yeah, you're talking like Atari days, right?
When an Atari and an NES cost like fucking $800.
I mean, it feels like
it's also.
I mean, it feels like we're heading for a bit, or like in the middle of like a big video game crash. Like nothing. We're gonna get to a story later on, but like nothing. No one outside of Outliers seems to be doing well right now. Like we talked about Highguard dying, Concord dying. Like there has to come a point where these live service, everybody going for live service, everyone going for these big AAA games, it's just not really being sustainable anymore.
Yeah, a lot of this trending all started with the idea of how do we capture everyone's free disposable income, and we're now in an era where people don't have
it.
People don't have disposable income to spend on stuff like this anymore.
Well,
So
here's
you
the thing.
need a value prop.
There are still a lot of things. Actually, it's funny because I was talking to this with my roommate before getting on.
Your roommate?
Yeah, my roommate. My roommate.
Okay. I just was so taken aback by call. So out of nowhere.
That's what my dad says to my mom, or like says about my mom. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. He was like, what? It's true. My roommate. Like, at least, so like, does it suck that prices go up? Yes. I will say I still think it is pretty cool that game studios, like, even though like as far as the console market goes, like if there's a new console platform that comes out, there's still a lot of games that people are still playing today that are playable on the previous generation console.
I mean, didn't we
like popular games?
Didn't we talk about the statistic also about Steam usage? Like how many people haven't even bought a game that came out this year? How many people are playing games that are from over like 6 years old?
Yeah.
The average gamer is using a graphics card from 2019 or earlier.
Hey, welcome to my world, boys.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm in that same boat, I think. When did the 20 series first start? Is it one release a year? So this was 2020, 2021? Because I feel like I got this thing prior to moving out of my parents' house.
The 20 series? No,
yeah,
dude. It was
20,
like
20 series, like 2018, right?
2019.
Yeah, so I'm in that group.
Yeah. I'll say because my roommate bought her 3080. like back in 2020, 2021 or something like that, when she got her pre-built.
Wow.
But yeah. And then I think that's when my cousin got his 3080 Ti that is now in my computer right now.
Yeah, it's starting to have an impact even on the low end budget space. Like you guys all know, I'm super into collecting these handheld emulators,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them have been starting to silently lower the amount of RAM that's been available in these units that they've been selling for years,
Oh
just
no.
to try to keep them on cost. Like one of the big ones was Amberdick makes one that looks like a Game Boy Advance SP, and I know for a fact that you wouldn't want to play it on this because it doesn't have a joystick or anything, but like they're capable of doing Dreamcast. And now some of the models they sell, while they used to be capable, no longer have the RAM to support it anymore. So we're
Ugh.
seeing actual feature loss on old products because they need to start trimming down because it's too expensive to continue producing.
Yikes.
That's where it hurt. I'm like, you mean to tell me the $35 console range can't afford to be this cheap anymore? Which blows.
Correct.
Part of this might just be us reframing our perspective of how much a dollar's worth. I was on this is kind of a swerve. I was on the Taco Bell subreddit today because someone, for context, they're selling these Crunchwrap sliders, which is just a chicken finger wrapped in a tortilla, folded 5 ways, and they charge $3 for it. And someone was like, "Yo, my Taco Bell's weird, and they're showing the new item that hasn't been announced yet instead of that thing." And I was like, "Well, good. The other one's not worth it." Like, what do you mean? Like, you can kill that thing in 3 bites. It's not worth it. Like, what do you mean? And someone's like, "I'm not going to sit here while you defend paying $1 per bite to Taco Bell." And I paused on that comment, $1 per bite. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hate this.
That's how we got to do it though these days. It's terrible.
Do we?
That's how much we're getting got.
I know,
That's how much we're getting got, dude.
we used to have 89-cent tacos. Now it's $1 per bite at Taco Bell.
Yup. Think about it. This is the state of economics we're living in right now.
This is America.
Don't catch me slipping. Oh, woof. This is America.
Let's change up the discourse around video game pricing to like the tiniest bit of positive news I've ever heard about this.
Crazy from Nintendo. Crazy.
It'll tie into a story of me getting burned on believing this would ever happen. So Nintendo announces after the whole controversy of them pushing up the price of games, they did announce that going forward, because I forget what game got listed with its price cheaper. It wasn't a Zelda-related game. I forget what it was. But point is, games on the eShop that Nintendo is producing will cost $10 less than their physical copy because they don't have to pay for the production and transportation of a physical copy of the game. I saw this news, and I had like a Ratatouille flashback moment to when I bought my PSP Go in 2009. Because that was the promise of an all-digital console, was because you don't have to pay the middleman. These games should be cheaper. And then especially in Nintendo's front, where Nintendo's like, what the fuck is a sale? Our games aren't worth less than what they're worth. Nintendo stuff never went on sale, so physical was always the cheaper way to buy Nintendo games. So to finally see this prediction from, at this point, 17 years ago come to pass is very weird. And good on them.
This isn't gonna ever convince me. It's gonna take a lot of convincing to get me back on Nintendo's side.
Boy, Switch 2
Switch
2 sales have really slowed down if they're talking about saving $10 if you buy only digital.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember what the deal was with the Nintendo Switch, where it's priced that if someone buys like 6 or more games, they pull a profit on the console. And the average Switch owner owned like 10 games across the lifetime of the console.
I don't understand how that's possible.
So they're probably seeing the issue that because of the Switch 1 backwards compatibility, there's way less of people buying new games on Switch 2. I don't know if this is a case of just, like, if someone went in not having a Switch 1 and just bought a Switch 2, the number of games available with this console is amazing. But if you came from a Switch 1, the number of games you need to purchase to make this console worthwhile is lower because you already own games that can be played on it. So I'm not sure where this is factoring into Nintendo's math, but if it means that they're going to actually put their shit on sale, so be it. I'll take it.
Hope so.
I'll concede in saying that this is a rare W for Nintendo. At least in the consumer's eyes. Everything that Nintendo comes out with is always a fucking W, and I hate that. Hate it so much.
Suffering from success.
Not even. I'm not even talking about like the. This is a good one to go into, like the whole, I guess, like Super Mario Galaxy thing that like there's discourse around this movie which I don't understand.
I'll shuffle it up. I'll move it along. So this is
are hating.
So yeah, so I'll. Why is it? Oh my god, it keeps disconnecting me from OneDrive, and I can't edit the document.
I got it. I got it.
Thank you.
Technical
So,
issue.
so what's going on here is I think even what the fuck is his name? Moist Critical had a video on this about the discrepancy between critic and audience review scores. But there's a big push going on right now because the Mario Galaxy movie early previews came out, and every reviewer is saying like, "Yeah, this
It's
movie kind of
terrible.
sucks. There's no real plot. They're just kind of like." Flashing bright images in your face and throwing Mario references, but there's no real overarching plot, and the characters don't have any real story arcs like the first movie.
Haha, all the money.
And so then viewers go into theaters and they're like, well, I thought it was fine. It was bright. It was beautiful. There was Mario. That was it. That's fine. I love this movie. And now you have people saying whether there's this elite in the critic scene who's just like poo-pooing on everyone's fun, and it's just a case of, how do I put this? The kind of person who wants to watch the Mario movie is gonna like the Mario movie. But film critics don't only go to movies that they know they're gonna like. They watch every movie, and they're supposed to review objectively: is this good? Is this bad? Regardless of whether it's made for me or not. And the average person rushing out to see the Mario movie during its opening weekend is the kind of person that this is catered towards. So it's gonna naturally review better with those people. And the question should be is using the phrase "it's just a kids movie." Is that enough to cover up whether a movie is good or not? Because, like, I don't know anyone who goes out here defending the recent Disney stinks with, "Oh, it's fine. It was just a kids movie."
So, I mean, in my opinion, it kind of does to an extent. Like, it tempers my expectations. Like, I'm going to be throwing hella shade here, and this is going to be apparently a hot take.
Oh boy.
But K-pop Demon Hunter is the same for me. I watched it and saw zero fucking appeal to that movie. I didn't understand. I even thought the animation wasn't like the best thing, but people loved it when it had such a fucking dry, very shallow story, but everybody seemed to love it. But I also realized that I am not the target audience for it. And if I was, a preteen girl, because I'm like, that sounds like also something harsh, but that like, or into the whole like K-pop thing, like, which is also broad. Like, you don't need to be a girl to be into the K-pop scene, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you're into that stuff, then like this movie is probably for you. But like, I am not a part of the target audience. And art is also subjective.
Yeah.
Though with objective bits to it, I would say. But yeah, you're right. I think the kind of movie, especially in Super Mario's case, like, especially with how they've spec'd it out, like spec that movie out, like they put a bunch of big names in it. They dress it up to make it look as pretty and shiny as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
To appeal to kids. Like, it's for kids. They made it. They made their objective, and guess what? When they make another Mario movie, because I'm sure they are, because this made buku money, it's gonna do well again.
Yeah, I think ultimately everyone has to remember the studio that's working on this is most famous for doing the Minions movies.
I was gonna say this is you took the words out of my mouth, Freeman. I was gonna say this is Illumination. This is literally what they do.
Which I think kind of sucks. I thought Despicable Me was actually like a good movie.
I still
like
haven't seen it.
Objectively. No, yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I know
I
the
think
first
one was fine.
People generally speak highly of the first one before it became just Minion Mania.
Yeah.
Also, real quick question about audio quality. I did manage to get my sweatshirt hanging up behind the microphone.
You sound totally fine.
And I lowered you guys to like 25% of your mic output and just cut all noise in my apartment. So that way there shouldn't be any feedback.
You're doing
Let me
great.
know about the audio quality and see if we're doing okay.
You're doing
great,
it,
sweetie. It's fine. Yeah, no, I think this is a good topic. Like honestly, I feel like something like this is a good topic to talk about in general, about like art in general, and like, I think the most important thing to like, at least as far as like art goes though, without diving too deep into it, just like any hobby or just like anything that someone does, my tenet is like, if you enjoy it, like enjoy it. Just
yes.
Like, yeah, like what other people say like is whatever, like even though it's for them or they think it's objectively good, like who cares? If you like it, then More power to you.
Yeah.
Even if it's a Nintendo game.
No, and I think also this is one of the movies that has just forever been disconnected between, like, not even a kid's movie, but like there's just always been this disconnect. I mean, video game movies, a lot of them aren't very good. But it's always been which ones appeal to kids. I mean, how many kids today talk about, you know, the original Mario Brothers movie, or like not kids today, but like older millennials, or even what's the one before us?
For the original live action Mario movie?
Yeah. Like there's
you're talking about Mario, Luigi, Mario shit.
Or like how about this? Like the Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. The live action ones.
So goofy. They're
well,
not
there you
movies,
go.
I love them.
You, Friedman, you literally just described what I'm talking about.
Yes. Well, all right.
But see, here's the difference. Nobody liked the live action.
Sure, and that's why I retracted that. That was probably not shooting too far. But like Turtles is a good example of, critics probably said Turtles sucks, but a lot of kids in those days loved it for what it was. It's the same exact thing now.
This might also be a lot of, and I think a lot of consumers don't understand the difference between whether you like something is not indicative of whether it is good. Most people assume I liked it, therefore it's good.
Yes.
I mean, there are some objectively bad. Like, even though I did say what I said before, there are some things that are objectively bad, as in, like, you could see that there was no effort put in. Well, I should say.
How about How about the flip side, where it's people also say if something is seen roughly as objectively or majority good, then you must like it. Like, if we lived in that world, a lot of indie films would be the biggest moneymakers in history.
Right.
But
which, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of pressure with that, though, with awards and like hype and all of this other stuff, like pressures of like, oh, if you don't like this thing, then like you just have
you're
no
wrong.
taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't like Parasite, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of other.
Dude, I got crucified when I said I didn't like Parasite. Everybody's like, "What the fuck do you mean?"
I mean, Tyler, you.
Don't like it.
I know you and Leslie used to meme about me, but you've definitely become the person who is the. If Tyler, it's a 50-50 coin if Tyler's gonna like something or dislike it.
But see, there's so many things that I do really like, though.
Yes.
And see, compared to you, though, it's like I'm like, man, I can't even nail down what Tim likes.
What the fuck does that even mean?
See, don't even know.
All right.
Even know. I could tell you point blank what Freeman likes. Oh, I know what my boy likes.
Tyler, I literally said when we were talking about putting Endless Waltz on the show notes again, I said most important thing of 2026 is that we have Endless Waltz on here twice.
After 10 years of knowing you, I've learned you only like a handful of things. You like.
What does that even mean?
You like Gundam.
Oh my god.
You like some anime.
Actual psycho
and you
mode.
Like Dresden Files.
Actual psycho.
Back me up here.
No.
Back me up here.
And there are things you like, and when you like them, you strongly like them, is what Tyler's trying to say.
That's like saying I like a brand. Like, there's lots of minor things. What do you?
Yeah, but you don't like them.
What does that even? I so strongly disagree. That's not even funny.
That's fine.
Listeners, you've been following Tim for a decade.
I think I get more passionate. I think I get more excited about.
Let's pull up. No. Let's pull up your channel here. Let's pull up live. Let's see what Let's Plays you got. Let's start with how many Star Wars Let's Plays you have.
Yeah, I don't know if this is actually fair, but
wow, no way. No one who does content has ever followed their pigeonhole to keep their viewers around. Crazy.
Oh god. Oh, sorry. I forgot. How can I forget Halo? But you know what? I agree with you on that one. That's a good one.
No, it used to be a good one. It's not anymore.
No. Those games still are. In fact, I just finished a playthrough with my coworker friend. Was it last night on Reach? And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I'm just talking about how we're playing Infinite right now.
And I was like, man, this game is not good. He says it gets better. He's like, I
Infinite?
He did say he thinks that it gets better.
Psycho.
Like the story missions or the game overall?
The the story missions.
Oh.
He's like, I know what you mean. He's like, I think the game is fun, but like, he's like, for me, it got like really old, and I wasn't really digging it until the last. He's like, the last like 40% of the game. I'm like, okay.
Are we not in that already?
We are not in that.
What?
Like, I thought we looked it up. We're like halfway, basically.
We're like barely past the halfway point on the story.
Yeah. I thought we looked it up and we were like, I don't even. One of the big guys is already dead.
We looked it up.
I don't remember. I thought I remembered that we were closer. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
I don't remember what the name of the mission we were on was.
Well, either way, Freeman, can you talk about Apple, please?
Yeah, sure. So
something that I don't like.
A couple.
I hate everything.
Oh, is it doing it again?
No, I said what?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, so I thought you said microphone.
No, I said something that I don't like and hate everything. I don't like Apple.
We're just cackling. Yeah, we're just cackling and talking over each other. Don't worry about it.
So Apple does their big press conference. Probably the biggest thing to come out of it is their newest, cheapest MacBook called the MacBook Neo, coming in at the shocking. Oh God, I wish I had a soundbite for it. $599 but $499 if you're a current college student. Point is, this is shaking up the laptop space because we're seeing the entry-level laptop is pushing over $1,000 these days, and this is the time where you don't game on it, you use it to open Chrome and connect to G Suite. And because of the price of components, regular laptops are kind of insane. So for Apple to turn around and say, "Hey, we're producing the cheapest, dumbest laptop that's meant for people who just need mostly web browsing capabilities and some sort of onboard processing, and we are going to use the current iPhone processor and prefabbed configuration, including soldered RAM, to reduce costs to produce." So effectively, they've taken the iPhone, they've adjusted it into a MacBook form factor and are selling it for cheaper than the cheapest junk Windows laptop. And this is apparently causing big panic among normal laptop manufacturers because nobody knows how they're supposed to compete in this pricing space.
Don't lose.
Which I think is interesting because we saw it's only been a couple months since Microsoft finally rolled out Windows for ARM, which was the first time we've had, like, besides like the Windows Phone OS, like a real functioning Windows operating system that functions on a mobile chipset. Because the average person who's using a low-end laptop, they don't need insane processing power. They need to connect to the internet and run basic apps on their device.
They need enough RAM to run Chrome full power.
As somebody who was a Mac hater and still low-key a Mac hater, Windows platform get fucked now. I hate them so much. Windows can just get fucked.
Man.
I mean, this is the hill I'll die on. I'm not switching to iPhone anytime soon, but I still think that MacBooks, the physical laptop, are the best form factor laptop I've used. And I've been through multiple of like top-end Dells and HPs through work. And none of them have a touchpad that compares to the one that Mac uses. So
to be fair, I will never use a touchpad. I can't stand using a touchpad for anything, even a second.
I mean, I don't use mine for work. Mine is so bad I won't interact. But the Mac one is fine that I don't feel the need to use a mouse on it all the time. So I'm happy there's an entry level product that I can wholeheartedly recommend to people. I got my dad into using. Well, he barely uses this, but I got him to get a MacBook, and generally these things don't have the same kind of. I don't want to know if it's a real thing, but like the hardware deterioration on laptops. You know, these things don't really last as long as you expect them to.
Welcome to everything.
Have a long tail before they really start to malfunction. So I just think it's an insane value prop. I really hope that someone in the regular laptop space comes around and says, how do we produce something low end like this that's, you know, comparable and isn't just a piece of plastic laptop.
How do we sue Apple from releasing this product so that we can keep charging $1,000?
For real.
But
yeah,
I mean, I would.
The MacBook Neo Shakeup.
I mean,
since the story has dropped, there have been no announcements of any competing Windows laptop product to displace it. So it seems like MacBook Neo is going to be like the entry level product for college students the next couple of years.
I mean, Macs were the. My only thought is like, do college students care? College students always carried around MacBooks anyway because they usually were like, well, I have money, I'm just going to buy a MacBook.
That's the thing. So the ones who had the money were already buying MacBooks. The ones who didn't weren't. Now the ones who don't have money might be buying MacBooks because they're only $600.
I guess I just don't see college students as the ones who are like, I'm going to be responsible and spend less money on a laptop. Usually it was, well, I'm just going to take out an extra student loan and just buy a big, expensive MacBook.
Well, I don't think
Look,
this
look,
is
when-
going to be aimed towards individual users. I'm totally not saying this at all, and if anybody from work is listening, you didn't hear this. But I could see this being employed in an enterprise or
That makes a lot of sense.
school environment. Like it's the in between and a huge competitor because like what already sells well with schools are MacBooks. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but a lot of school systems use MacBook or Chromebooks.
That's what I was going to say. Chromebooks.
That's where you're going with this.
Yeah. So that combined with like
Don't
Google has its
Chromebooks
own... Huh?
Don't Chromebooks still price under this though?
They do,
It
but they're
depends.
shit.
Okay.
Like the lowest end
Also,
ones, you're looking
like,
at $200, right?
If people didn't want to, like, they don't have to use it using like they don't have to manage using like the Google management software, like the management suite. They could use what I use at my work, Jamf, which is like a way to use like to manage Mac hardware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could also do it other ways. Like it's harder to manage Chromebooks like with other like endpoint stuff, but like you could stick almost anything like on a Mac and and like get good telemetry off of it from like a management standpoint.
No, that's a good point. That's a big factor.
Yeah, I was like, I do have. This is the one thing I do have expertise on because this is my job.
Took your job.
Took my job.
No, that's a good point though. I've always my younger sibling had a Chromebook for a while and it was pretty useless. So I could see a low end that is an actual computer and not a Chromebook being appealing, especially after a few years of being stuck with Chromebooks that kids probably break and barely work anyway half the time. And
if they can nail the reliability of like the current hardware they put out, like to attest Freeman's like endorsement, like I also agree. This stuff is very well built, and if they can prove that it is battle tested, this new stuff, I can see them taking over that space very easily. Yeah, that part definitely makes sense.
One last thing about the actual physical hardware. I keep running into this when listening to different reviewers online. They're like, they made it out of metal, which is great for this price point, but I hate it because if you drop it on the ground, it dents it. It's dented forever. And I hear this complaint. I'm like, the fuck do you think happens to plastic when you drop it on the floor with that force? It cracks and
it's
cracked in half forever. It's not like it regenerates or some shit. Like, why is metal denting a negative for having a metal laptop?
Also, maybe this is just silly of me to think, but maybe we should just move past the point of saying, hey, a tiny dent on my thing means I should throw it away and buy a new one, but it's
kind of dumb.
I mean, if it's on the screen, then...
Well, yeah, if it's on the screen, sure. But, like, I'm saying if the case of your phone is, like, a little dented, maybe that's not a reason to buy a new phone. Like, I'm just saying, especially in an environment where we're talking about kids using it at school, they're gonna get beat up.
Yeah.
So, like, if it feels good to use, it can endure a little bit of beating, and it still works well, then I think that's the biggest win.
Yeah, cosmetic damage shouldn't be anybody's concern at this price point.
No. That's a good way to put it. You know what else is a good way to put it? Eidos Montreal in big trouble.
Yeah, this is good news.
So, I don't know if it's good news. So, for apparently 7 years now, Eidos Montreal has been working on some new game that we still don't really know anything about. But, there was some information. It was like a live service game or something. It was some game that Eidos was working on. It sounded super generic. You play a group of like magical children. I think the main character's name was like River or something. But they never made it anywhere very far in development. But it was a multi-$100 million development cycle. It led to at least one Deus Ex game getting canceled. And the head of Eidos Montreal is now leaving the company, and they're doing a bunch of layoffs, and they can't be as part of shuttering this project. But I think this is just another signpost of the industry trying to readjust to the fact that, like, not everything is going to be Fortnite and Grand Theft Auto. And even Fortnite's in trouble. I mean, didn't they just raise the price of V-Bucks or whatever? And they're also, like, a lot of people online apparently are saying this new season was rough. They're taking away free currency and battle passes to make it so you have to spend more money. Like, it's not doing so hot.
Because that game doesn't make more money than God already. All right.
They claimed recently that development costs are now outstripping income from Fortnite.
Well, they also did
like that round of layoffs.
I was going to say that's not part of the story that we had listed on the show notes, but they did 1,000-person layoff, like the latest giant layoff in gaming. 1,000 people cut from Epic, which is just insane. Like, we're in this era of just everybody does layoffs, everybody talks about AI, everybody talks about rising costs, and it's like, where does it all stop? Guys, that's where you're supposed to answer.
I'm sorry,
you're supposed to give me the good news, guys.
Out here.
Yeah, I know. It's just
I think it boils down to just how much can you produce with a smaller team. I think we're just starting to see the era of big studios, big projects. Takes almost too much money to recoup the costs on it.
Well, I think we're also hitting the era of, like, you can't play, like you mentioned the RAM thing before, Freeman, about not doubling capacity anymore. Like, we're not getting, what was the big driver for so many years for the normie, quote unquote, crowd? Graphics.
Look at the graphics.
Look, we're basically done. Like, yeah, the NVIDIA thing is a filter, an AI filter to make it look prettier a little bit. But, like, are we really attaining these monstrous new leaps? No, we're done. There's no more big leaps to make. So now people are being forced to kind of acknowledge, like, hey, maybe it's more about style and gameplay and storytelling than just riding the coattails of graphics.
I mean, we could still go higher with graphics, though.
I'm sure we could, but I'm saying, like, when you think of the jump from, like, 64 to GameCube or 360 even to Xbox One, like, those kind of fidelity upgrades. Like,
well, I think we can kind of get there. The problem is like hardware limitations.
We're also getting to the point where hardware is just so, like, this stuff doesn't come for free. We're like, exactly like Freeman said before, we're hitting the point where we're not getting increased power all the time. So it's like, oh shit, we have to learn to actually be economical with what we have instead of just throwing processing power at fixing all of our problems. I don't know.
The old school days of game development.
Yes.
Oh, let's start using that dirty, filthy word again. Optimization.
Yeah. Ugh.
People have been. Some game studios have been. I've been very happy with Helldivers 2 and how they optimized their space for the game.
You mean optimized out half of the install size?
Yeah, dude, that's great.
Okay. It is both. This is a classic case of it is both great and pathetic that it happened in the first place.
Nah, because you know why? Because you still got other games out here, single-player games, that like feel like they don't have anywhere near the same amount of content.
Sure.
Like, almost doubling that. You have.
Well, look at Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's at
Carl
like over
on Duty.
140 gigs.
Jesus Christ. I mean, wait, hold on. What's Halo Infinite at? None of us even have ever booted the multiplayer. I don't even remember what Halo's at right now.
Hey.
If I go to Steam,
99 gigs. 99 gigs. 99. So what was that?
Remember when the Xbox 360 had a 128 gig hard drive, and that was like the craziest thing? It was like, wow, you could fit every game ever.
What do you mean? They released with 20 gig hard drive.
Oh, 20. Sorry, I was thinking of the final 360.
Yes.
The black one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 20 gig, and everyone was like, oh my god, I could install like all my games on here.
Dude, you slap the top of that fucking that removable external drive.
Oh
you know how many
my
fucking
God.
games I could put on. You know how many Xbox Live Arcade games I could put in this bitch? Like, please. And then about everybody fucking nutted when the PS3 got announced. They're like 60 gigs off the rip.
Oh my god! Hearing the phrase 60 gigs, thinking, wow, that was so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean-
Unfucking heard of.
I mean, do we want to get really old and go talk about? Do we want to talk on the podcast about when we had to bring formatted floppy disks to school?
Oh my god!
So that we could.
How many megabytes did you put your stuff on?
Dude, those were the days.
Those
Actually,
were the-
I never did any back and forth work between school and home though.
No, but we had to bring floppy disks. I remember having to bring floppy disks to school to save our work on because the computers were used by multiple kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we
yeah,
had to.
No, it was like, what did we do? Oh yeah, like we ended up like doing all of like whatever word processing we had to do. Like we just did right there, basically.
Yep. No, we had to save work. Remember the TJ Middle School computer lab that was in the middle of the second floor? It was like that long
Just taught
room.
us real computer skills, like how to make a PowerPoint, and then they had this weird. I'll never forget it. In order to teach how to touch type, they had this rubber cover that went over the keyboard to blank out what it was, and you just had to do your typing test with that on.
Yes,
I don't.
I used to have that also.
Wow.
But
I
see,
don't
you didn't
remember
learn
that.
the real degeneracy, which was like getting fucking Doom and Quake on the computers.
I mean, we did that in
and
high
putting it on the
school.
shared drive.
Oh,
We did that in high school. We've
Yeah,
talked
we
about this.
figured out-
I was the king of Quake 3.
Knowing whose share drive to connect to in order to get the Quake 3 Arena demo running.
Quake
was-
3 Arena demo and Halo 1, baby. That was our games of choice.
Eventually, we got StarCraft towards the end of it.
I never did. That's cool. That's sick. I never played original StarCraft like that.
See, it sucks. Kids these days aren't gonna know the hype of that. Like, you just had to be there.
And now it's all the art of hiding your phone in class.
Yeah, art of hiding your
God.
phone in class, and I don't even know. Yeah, Zoomers, if we have any Zoomers in the audience, tell us what like the new hotness is.
I doubt
Well,
we have
not-
any
yeah.
Zoomers.
I doubt we have any Zoomers. I doubt we have any listeners at this point.
Fair.
I'm not talking to the ether right now.
Well,
Yeah, but speaking of listening, it's time for the Weeb shit.
he beat me
Yep,
to
well,
it.
I'm sure most of you zone the fuck out, like me, just Tyler.
So we'll keep it brief. This one's a little bit old. Crunchyroll was part of a large data breach
Oh
a
my
few weeks
God,
ago. As
no.
far as I know, Crunchyroll is still yet to disclose the full extent of the data breach, but from what I can tell, credit card data was in fact leaked, and they don't want to admit it. So, anyone your credit card up for Crunchyroll, change your credit card.
Yeah, that sucks, because if they do,
tired of
then
this.
by law they're supposed to disclose that.
I don't know if they have it like linked to who you are, or whether they just have credit card numbers, just blank numbers leaked. But let me live fact check, because I put this on here like 2 weeks ago.
Fucking
I
how,
did not follow
though?
up.
How do they not have it linked back to PII, though? Oh, no, actually, wait a minute. They don't have to. I just realized. It is not a part of that law.
Oh.
This is the question that I got wrong in the practice test that I was studying for just recently.
Oh, all right. So it's not everyone's credit card details. It's if you ever put your credit card into a support ticket with Crunchyroll.
Oh, right. That's
the
what it was.
support ticket
That-
raw text was leaked.
yes, I'm remembering that. Yeah. The raw text
Yeah.
of support tickets was leaked. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, for the most part, it was your name, your email address, IP address, where you're located, and the text of any support tickets you had from your account.
Aw.
So no, regular credit cards are fine.
I wonder if
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for
get.
stop me from spreading misinformation.
I wonder if I'm going to get my third letter in the mail over the last 6 months from a company going, "We're sorry for our data breach. Here's a year complimentary of some random spin-up data protection service that will tell you your information showing up constantly on the dark web. There's nothing you can do about it. Go change your info, I guess."
I mean, everyone wants it,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, for the most part, my credit card companies have been pretty good at determining, hey, someone on
Oh,
the side
yeah.
of the world just suddenly made a large transaction. We're not going to let that go through.
No, I will say I've had my same card number for 17 years now.
What?
Wait, they didn't
I don't
change
know.
the number.
No,
when
sorry,
you
the
Yeah,
bought it?
number.
they don't
Sorry,
change the number?
number's different. Account's been the same, and I've always gotten new cards when it was flagged. Sorry. Yes, that's.
Well, yeah, your account number's not gonna get.
No, I
flagged.
know, but like I'm saying that I've had the same company for that long because they've been good for that long. So.
Yeah, I'll say this. Pro tip for like scamming. Set your alerts to a lower number than the default, because most scammers, if they get a hold of your card, they're going to do it. They know to go under the value, so by the time people notice that activity's happening on the card, it's like after they had already spent like a bajillion fucking dollars on like V-Bucks or whatever gift cards, like they'll spend like $99 at a time just buying shit.
Oh.
So they'll work off the normal average. As long as you lower yours and just acknowledge that you're going to get notified about stuff that you're intending to
Yup.
purchase. All right, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
That's a good. Tyler's tip.
Yeah.
Tyler's tip of the day. Yeah.
All right, moving on for some announcements that are a little more positive. I still have not watched Medalist Season 2. I really want to, and they did confirm at the end of Season 2 we are getting a movie. The only reason this is super exciting, not because of the Medalist movie franchise, but just that the studio working on Medalist had yet to have a slam dunk till they started working on this franchise. So good on them that they have something that's actually successful so far.
Yep.
Next one, Oshinoko. They did confirm at the end of the current season that just finished airing that we are going to get the final season animated. I don't believe we have any kind of a
so
date for this.
nervous. No,
I'm expecting it to be about a year until we get this adapted because the manga's over, so the material's out there. It's just a question of how long it take to produce this show.
Yeah, but Freeman, we both know that the problem with the show is that the source material falls off a cliff.
So there's this. The author's cursed. This is the same author who did
No,
Kaguya-sama.
no,
The same
no,
thing
no.
happened where the last arc, everyone's like, "What the fuck is the author doing?" And it was even worse for Oshi. I do not
By a lot.
I have not gone any further into the plot of Oshi other than the stuff that was covered this season. So we already have a loose idea of why people are mad about the last arc. We'll see how it goes down. I have confidence that with the Festa Studio, Doga Kobo is going to be able to turn it around and make the adaptation play up the good parts and play down the other parts. Moving on. Grand Blue Season 3.
Insane.
This one we had a confirmation of this accidentally leaked when the entirety of Season 2 of Grand Blue got leaked. But we did just get a teaser trailer and confirmation that it will be airing this July, which is an insanely quick turnaround for another season after the long gap.
For a show that took like 5 years to come back, it's like, yeah, we decided to just get it all done within a year after that. Like, what?
No, it may have just been a case of this studio being like, hey, we have the capacity to produce 24 episodes over 2 years. Do you want to do it? And they locked in 2 and 3. Because when Season 2 started airing, they had completed production for the show and even hard-coded the Season 3 announcement to the end of the last episode before it got leaked. So, they already knew before the season aired that they were going to produce a Season 3. So it may have just been a case of this studio got contact for 2 chords. So, either way, I will take it. I said it before during my review. I didn't love Season 2 as much as Season 1, but it is still very much the same show. If you like Season 1, you know what you're getting into here. Let's swerve for a second.
This
here.
is mine.
So,
This is a bit of bitching. I know it plays into what Tyler was saying, but this was genuine frustration, and I think you'll appreciate this, Tyler. So, when the Gundam Wing 30th anniversary video came out, I remember talking about to you guys, maybe even on the podcast, about how the new version of Rhythm Emotion that was underneath sounded awesome. It had like a new little like more guitar and bass going in the beginning. The beeps were in there. You know, it was all good underneath. And the version of the song wasn't available anywhere. And then back in like February, 2Mix, the group that did the original soundtrack 30 years ago, said, "Hey, we are going to come out with the 30th anniversary version of the Gundam Wing, not soundtrack, but major songs like Rhythm Emotion, Just Communication, and a couple others."
Waltz 2 was in there.
Yeah, some Endless Waltz songs, all good things. And I was like, okay, This is where they're gonna have the good version of Rhythm Emotion in there. They can't not. It's as simple as putting this out into the world now. Now that the video's been out, great.
Damn.
The Spotify soundtrack comes out in like 2 weeks ago. There are 2 versions of multiple songs on it, including Rhythm Emotion, which actually has 3 versions on this Spotify playlist. One of which is an extended version of the original song. One of which is some crazy remix of the song. It's like wildly all over the place. It meanders around. I didn't really like it that much. The third version is just the entire audio file of the 30th anniversary video unedited. AKA, it has the random musical 30 minute long intro montage music, and then it has all the sound effects from the mobile suits hard coded into the sound from the video. It's literally just an audio rip that I could have done from the YouTube video. And I
have no words.
I don't even understand how you could do this. It's like
they just said fuck it, right? They're like, yeah, whatever. Good. Yeah. Just chuck it out there. I don't really feel like remixing this, so
But they mixed it and then they covered it up.
Was to do the new mixes of the songs, and they didn't want to actually release their new mix. They released 2 variants of it, but they didn't release the new mix.
I'm so mad. I loved the new version so much from that trailer. And then I'm listening to the version. I'm like, what is this random music at the beginning? And then I realized it's the montage. And I'm like, okay, maybe after the montage, at least the music will be unchanged. Nope. There's the sound of heavy arms firing. There's the sound of Tallgeese's Vernier boosters just flying off in the middle of the song. Like, what? The sound of, like, Hiro splashing down in the water during that transition near the end. It's like, why God, why did you do this? So I genuinely haven't opened that Spotify playlist since like the first 2 days it came out, because I'm just like, there's nothing here of value. I don't like the new remixes, and the mix I wanted isn't here. So
I'd say like the one upside of the album is the 90-second version of Rhythm Emotion that has the beeps and the sound effects from the Gundams from the original airing is now on Spotify. So there is a way to listen to it through Spotify, not YouTube. So that's like the one upside to any of this.
Anyway, that's why this is called Too Mixed, Too Disappointing. Because, boy, I was crushed by this. I was so hopeful, and just boom. But this is exciting. The rest of the news is all good.
Yeah, I'd say we're in a weird spot where you actually look at the seasonal charts for the year, and most of this year's planned out. So all of these announcements are for stuff for like 2027 and later.
Weird.
I didn't actually read the news announcement on this one, but Eminence and Shadows come back in 2027. I was trying to remember, didn't they?
It's the movie. It's the movie. It is the movie. It's coming next year.
It's the movie. Okay, so we're getting the movie next year. Additionally, we get Free Ren, which I'm trying to remember if they announced a movie format or if it's just the arc.
Nope,
name
it's the next arc, season 3.
Next arc. Free Ren will be coming back late 2027, so we have a long gap for that one.
I think they said October. I'm pretty sure they confirmed fall season.
And then this one isn't 2027. We did get a release date for it. We've been lingering on for it. But Made in Abyss, we did know that the next arc will be covered as a movie, and they did confirm that October 23rd in Japan it will be releasing, which means most likely 2027 in the US will get some kind of a release date.
Crazy to think that My Hero basically did its entire run in the time that Made in Abyss is still like wandering around, occasionally coming out. I mean, I know it's because the source material is a lot less, it's not a shonen, so it's not racing along like My Hero, but it feels like Made in Abyss we started watching maybe within a year or two of My Hero starting. And Made in Abyss is nowhere near being over.
No.
I'm kind of glad I slowed down on that.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have a choice. It's taken forever. I mean, not to say that it's not great, because boy, Made in Abyss I love. There's nothing like it.
but I think a part of it is like, man, these have not been coming out. Like, I think that's been my big issue with anime lately is like, I want to watch them, but a part of me is like, why? I feel like I'm getting attached, and I keep waiting on every single thing to come out, and it just takes a 500 years. But it's like, oh, but Tyler, you can watch these other 500 shows that are also not being that you also have to wait on. So like, I think I'm just
Well,
kind of over it.
I think part of the problem, Tyler, that you're touching on is that the only things that are getting regular releases are mostly shonen. There's a lot of
Yeah,
shows. They're either cheap or they're shonen. Like things like Frieren. I mean, they take a long time. But you get things like Demon Slayer coming out pretty regularly. My Hero has been coming out like clockwork for years now.
yeah,
Um,
but now they're doing the whole bullshit with the movies. Like for Demon Slayer, it's
Yep.
like now I'm waiting until Henry is going to turn freaking
don't.
5. Yeah, see,
Mm,
it hurts, doesn't it? It's fucking stupid. It shouldn't have to be like this. It shouldn't have to be like this.
I'm genuinely curious because, like, I don't want to derail us and talk about how I almost said Type Moon, how Ufotable does their movie division. Because, like, you look at Ufotable now, and I was shocked to hear this, but it's only relevant right now because Fate Grand Order is doing a collaboration with another Type Moon work called Witch on the Holy Night, and it is getting a movie this year. And I was shocked to see that Ufotable's doing this. I'm like, Ufotable, the same one that's doing the entire Demon Slayer movie series, and is supposedly doing all the Hoyoverse projects, like. Why take on something new when you still have an active IP you're working on that you could release now while it's still big, and not do what happened with like the Fate Heaven's Feel movies, where by the time the third movie came out 4 years after the first one, no one remembered where we were in the plot line, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know why there's not this pushback to like don't let your IP fade.
well, I
No
think
one wants to strike while the iron's hot.
Well, I think also the problem is similar to video games. Anime has a longer and more expensive production cycle now. And think about it. When was the last time a show ran for more than maybe 2 cores consecutively? Even
That's
One
a
Piece.
good question.
Even One Piece
quit
no
doing it.
longer is doing it. They're every other week this year when they come back.
Or every other season.
Oh, season. Okay. Well, my One Piece guy told me it was every other week, but he probably mixed up the word. That they're like doing every
My
2
One
weeks. They're
Piece
putting out
guy.
episodes.
Now I'm actually curious about this. The last time I watched a show that went, I was going to say, oh no, it's Gundam Wing. That doesn't count.
I can't think of a show that lasted more than 2 cores, period, since COVID. I'm waiting to hear it.
I mean, a lot of these have like a 1 season off, which I'd almost give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm actually looking at episode counts, and I have, except for no, that's Zeta Gundam. That's also an old show. I have not finished a show in the last 4 years that had more than 24 episodes in a single season.
That's wild.
24-ish. Free Run was 28 in its first season, but that doesn't.
That's a marginal episode count change.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also say that Oshinoko opened with, what's it called? Oshinoko opened with an extra long season because they had a 1-hour episode started.
The last time I finished a show that was long, it was Black Clover when it ended in 2021, and Black Clover still hasn't come back.
I think we're just in this cycle of get content out, do a 1 season, and then take at least 1 season off. But so many of these shows are so many of these studios are so overbooked that they're just like, yeah, we don't even. We say we're going to do that, and then we just commit to like 3 other projects, exactly like you said, Freeman, with Ufotable.
Time a show's successful, like, cool, let's do a season 3 when we're free in 2.5 years.
They honestly could probably put out Demon Slayer movies faster than they're going to, but they're spreading it out also to fit in other work in the meantime.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Because they also want the cash cow to last.
Rush to sell it.
They
But
definitely.
speaking of IPs.
Oh my
sell,
God!
but
Yeah,
no one's
perfectly
rushing
goes
to
in.
Sell, we got to talk about what happened with Steel Ball Run, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7. Because I'm salty about everything that happened.
Good thing we didn't record last week because we have an update on this story now.
Yes. So for context to the listeners, JoJo, for its first 5 parts, did a standard weekly release on Japanese television, and Crunchyroll simulcast it. Starting with Part 6, Netflix is the official distributor of JoJo. And with Part 6, they released it in 3 batches, where it aired in Japan, and then at the end of it airing, when they could dub over everything, they released them in like 14-episode batches. And it completely killed any kind of hype or celebration around JoJo. The big thing that the JoJo community will always parade around is JoJo Fridays, where we have 22 minutes of animation and there are meme frames in all of these episodes. We got 1 week to make memes out of this, and then we're going to move on to the next episode. And it was fun. That did not exist for Part 6, so nobody was talking about it. There was no discussion, there was no discourse, there were no memes around JoJo Part 6, and it fell off a cliff. So everyone knowing that Netflix is still distributing JoJo Part 7, the question is, how are they going to do it? And the big push is, all right, well, now that Netflix has figured out that doing weekly releases sort of works, and their most recent batch projects have failed immensely because pirates got to it before they could put out the official episodes, there's a lot of thought that like maybe they'll try and do weekly on this. So episode 1, which is an extended, I don't know if it's an hour or 90 minutes, but episode 1 of Steel Ball.
I thought it was only 40.
Maybe it's just a double episode.
I think so.
The point is, it covers the first stage of this story, and I don't want to go too much into it, but the whole plot is there's a horse race across the United States that's broken up into, I think, 5 stages. After episode 1 dropped, Netflix did not say anything, a word about what's happening with the show.
Actually nuts that they ignored anything. Like that. No, I'm overemphasizing Freeman intentionally because it is insane. They said nothing. They didn't say, "Hey, congratulations, JoJo. We look forward to seeing you soon." Eventually, they said nothing.
It felt like
crazy.
A fate strange fate kind of moment. Like, when's the next episode? So people start like spamming them on social media with creepypastas of Johnny Joestar being just like, "Where is Steel Ball Run?" And there were a lot of rumors that they were saving up batch releases. So once enough episodes of each stage are out, they would batch release them dubbed in multiple languages. And then I think the French translator of the JoJo manga came out and said, "This is a fucking terrible idea." As someone who did the translations and had to convince our department that this series is meant to be consumed weekly in small doses, not wait until large sections are done to release in these omnibus formats. And everyone is rallying around the idea, like, we want weekly releases. And then they come out and they say, so what everyone thought was going to happen is they're effectively still doing batch releases. Every 3 to 4 months, the next part of JoJo will air for about 8 episodes. And instead of doing a batch, they're going to do weekly releases and then just go radio silent for like 6 months at a time. Steel Ball Run will conclude by the end of 2028 with their projected schedule. So Netflix comes out and says, we want to thank everyone for all the support, but we're going to release all the stages, but we'll do them weekly when they're ready to go. And then they said this was always our intended release pattern.
Then why didn't you say that ever?
I'm sitting here like, what the like, this is terrible.
Somehow, David Production could do 5 other parts of JoJo without Netflix, or somebody along the way totally fucking it up. But now that they're involved, it's like, well, time to forget how to produce a show.
Well, I'm confused. Why wouldn't Netflix want to, like, be like, yeah, you know what? Everybody wants this weekly release. Let's fucking give it to them. Because I feel like if they stick to a weekly release, then people are going to be like, oh, well, that's a month already down the drain. I have to pay for the next month for me to get JoJo if I need.
Absolutely. As opposed to batch where you only have to pay for one. I don't understand this because the idea is that when they put JoJo on the front page and say go watch it, they don't want someone to click on it and say, oh no, it's not English dubbed. Oh no, there's only 1 episode out. But like the magic of this is you don't have to advertise until you want to. If you're gonna do like if stage 2 of Steel Ball Run is 8 episodes long, you put it out for release in Japanese with subtitles weekly. Don't put it on your front page. People who want to watch it can watch it. But then once you have your dubbed 8 episodes and you're in your break period before the next stage, drop it on the homepage. Say JoJo Stage 2 is here. And then you have what you wanted. You have a batch release for the normies who don't know what this is and want to click on it. But it's also available to people who would otherwise pirate your product because it's not available. And I don't know why they don't.
I wonder if part of it says, hey, if we tell people that... Oh, shit, Vivi's on Netflix now. Nice. I'm looking at Netflix because we're talking about it. I wonder if sneakily part of it is, hey, if we just give people a little taste of this, are they going to be like, hey, we'll check back on Netflix in a few months, and maybe they forget to unsubscribe for that time. I think there's a big overestimation. Hopefully it changes, but I think a lot of people overestimate how many people will unsubscribe and resubscribe to Netflix when they'll just go, I'll just pay the monthly and then I'll look forward to this coming back, and it keeps them looped in.
Yeah, I'm also wondering how much because we saw it with Stranger Things. There's these like
Oh,
smaller
God.
batch releases, whether they're trying to do some type of hybrid approach of we need to extend discourse by making it available over a longer period of time, but we know people still love batches, so we got to release in batches. I really don't know. They did it with Bridgerton too,
Yep.
which I'm not going to talk about.
Oh,
But
snap.
that's it for the Weeb shit. Let's
Spartacus is on
talk about other
Netflix too?
stuff.
I need to stop scrolling on Netflix. There's a lot of good stuff on here right now, apparently. That Spartacus show was pretty good. Oh boy,
Like,
watched
you guys
and
need to
played.
watch gay vampires, damn it.
Talk Tyler. Someday, I swear she'll do it. I know it.
I give up. I give up.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
recommend. I told my roommate I'm not recommending anything to anyone anymore unless it's
roommate.
Freeman.
You know what? That's fair. I'm gonna watch Halo on Netflix just because you recommended it, Tyler.
I say Freeman's the only one who
Follows up on the recommendations.
listens to my recommendations. That's it.
I mean, keep them coming. They're always everything you recommend's always entertaining.
I always listen to yours. Do you recommend Pokopia?
Conditionally. So I'm playing it now. I will say this does fit into the cozy gamer genre that like Animal Crossing lives in. So if you like cozy games and you like Pokemon, this game is a slam dunk win for you. I will say as an old head Pokemon fan, I really enjoyed. It was this game. So it came out on DS, but I think it originated on GBA. It was called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and the gimmick of it was you get turned into a Pokemon, and then you're in this dungeon crawler. And the fun part of it was all the Pokemon talk, and they're all just real characters, and all of them have personalities that kind of blend well with the Pokemon. And Pokopia does that even better. All the Pokemon you meet have crazy personalities. Everyone talks. Honestly, this is a really good Pokemon game. Even the character models, they've finally gone and given everyone like unique walking, idle, action animations. It's not the same static shit we've had since Pokemon X and Y that regurgitate in every 3D Pokemon game. So they actually put some thought into giving the Pokemon world its own personality, which I think is the strong point. Gameplay wise, it's okay. I do love that it's always throwing side quests at you. There's always 50 things to be doing, and it's really on you to figure out what do I want to do first. I think there's 4 maps total, and I'm almost done with the second one. So this is definitely a lot of fun. I don't know if I'd yell at everyone that you must play this, or I'd even say go pay full price for it. But this is a very good game. If you love Animal Crossing, but you're burnt out on it because it's been the same game for 5 years, I think this is a refreshing take that has the Pokemon skin all over it. So I'm overall enjoying it. I think it's a good game. Honestly, I think it meets the hype that everyone was giving it online. But I don't recommend getting a Switch 2 just to play this game.
That's fair.
All those.
Which, by the way, listeners, I don't think we talked about it last time, because last time we recorded, I was talking about having Switch 1 battery issues. I did end up caving and get a Switch 2 for this game.
As Tyler and I both predicted.
Yeah. But I did also buy, I haven't started yet, Kirby Air Riders, the actual game I wanted to Switch 2 for, but I did have a chance to play it on my sister's Switch 2 when she was home. So I got my taste of it. I do want to play more. Kirby Air Riders is a lot of fun. City Trial seems way more expanded on than the last game. I realize I'm not talking about it because I haven't actually played it yet.
The real reason why you get the game?
Yeah, nobody plays the racing mode. Although it was nostalgic because they included all of the original game's courses. So it's all in there to re-experience. So, fun nostalgia trip.
I saw someone make a Waffle House in Pokopia.
Nah.
You can make a lot of stuff. It's imagine Minecraft meets Animal Crossing in terms of the building system. Like there's town planning and management, but then you can just place whatever you want anywhere. I've seen some dumb stuff like in order to maximize the efficiency of having dense Pokemon homes, I watched someone just recreate like those big concrete buildings you'd seen in like Eastern Bloc Russia. Like
Jesus
you can
Christ.
get creative, or you can overly optimize and turn it into just Minecraft the sequel. So there's a lot to do. And then I will say this is one of the things I didn't expect from it is the controls can sometimes be kind of annoying, but the Switch 2's like killer feature is the mouse mode on the new Joy-Cons, which if you have a Surface in front of you, not a terrible way to play this particular game. Like think playing Minecraft with a mouse and keyboard versus a controller.
Could this be a sign that Nintendo is planning on putting their games on PC?
Lol.
Sorry, I just described, I'm sure, a couple hundred Reddit threads.
That's a funny.
Yeah, we need a clickbait thumbnail. Put that as the title of the podcast. All right,
that would get us all the views for one
so
whole episode.
the movie section. So Ready or Not 2 is in theaters, and I know Tyler, you also saw this, right?
Yeah.
So I watched Ready or Not 1 the night before in anticipation to go see this movie. I'm not sure how I feel. I think Ready or Not 1 was overall a better, tighter plot. But Ready or Not 2 had a way more diverse supporting cast that made it fun.
The sister
I'm not
pissed me off. That's honestly what did it for me. Like,
I think
I did have fun with this movie too, but the sister was fucking me up, dude.
so. I
was
think
like,
having the sister was fine. I liked having a secondary protagonist for her to bounce off of for the whole movie. But I think a lot of the shit, and I think we talked about this, but the stuff that the sister complained about for the entire movie about how, man, we were both in an orphanage, and the second you were of legal age to not be in the orphanage, you left. And it's like, wouldn't anybody? Like, her big thing that she was mad at her about was something that was very easy to empathize with. Not the sister. You empathize with the main character for why she did it. So like, we
yeah.
spent the whole episode or the whole movie treading over like, you abandoned me, and I'm sitting here like, she didn't really though. Like,
She didn't, and on top of that, she was apparently trying to call her, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I don't give a fuck." I'm like, "All right, you know what? Like, I'm over this bitch." And then they're during like this whole like life and death situation they have gone up. She's bringing up old shit she wants to fucking cry about. I'm like, "All right, I'm over it. I'm over it. Just get to the next person you're gonna kill in this family, and you know,
yeah.
whatever."
And also, I'm not gonna fault the movie for realism or not, because like the movie involves people exploding into pools of blood, but like there's one part where someone just like stabs her through the shoulder with like, I forget what it was, but she stabbed through the shoulder, and I'm, as someone who recently went through 2 years of shoulder rehab
Oh,
for a
yeah.
very minor injury, watching her then proceed to lift up this like Yamaha keyboard to smack someone in the face, I'm like, bullshit. There's ain't no way you're lifting that with that arm with something going through the joint.
Oh, I think it was the mic stand.
I'm pretty sure she picked up a full keyboard when she
Oh,
smacked,
no, I meant like she got stabbed with the mic stand.
Oh, with the mic
Samara
stand,
Weaving
yeah.
got stabbed with the mic stand.
Yes. Yeah. Other than that, everything else super realistic. Everything about this weird power demon cult shit. Yeah. Overall, enjoyed the movie. First one was a fun little romp. I don't think the second one needed to be made, but it was still fine. It wasn't one of those like sequels where you're like, why was this done? It was very much a chance for them to tell the same story again, but expand on it.
Yeah. I did like how they had set rules for things and they abided by them. Like the plot, played around with all the rules of the games and how the standard operating procedures for things that they had to do. I thought
I will
that
commend
was
them
neat.
for not adding bullshit rules throughout. It was almost always like, hey, we need a clarification on a rule that's been in effect for the whole movie to make it more specific, and then there'd be something specific to it where it's like, oh shit, now we gotta act, which I liked.
Also, Samara Weaving was fine as fuck, as always. Just gotta throw that in there. Not a must see, but I hear Project Hail Mary is.
It is a must see. I really like this movie. I am sort of.
We're never gonna see it.
Yeah, because it's as of today, it's out, or not today. Yeah, as of today, it's out of theaters. Tomorrow, it's out of theaters.
Project Hail Mary or Ready or Not?
No, Project Hail Mary.
It's still in theater. What are you doing?
Oh, they okay, because they still hadn't posted new times when I checked on it yesterday.
I literally posted
the single. Oh, I thought there was a single showing.
No,
in your screenshot.
Look at the screenshot. It's for IMAX and standard.
Oh, I didn't even bother looking at standard.
And then yeah, I figured. And then Tim was like, "No, it's coming back, to IMAX the 16th or whatever." Was that not what was discussed?
No, it was. We had talked about it.
I saw that it's returning on the 17th, but now I'm seeing it now. They finally added non-IMAX showings for Project Hail Mary for the next week or so at all theaters. So it's not out of theaters. I was operating on bad
I was about
info.
to say, I provided proof earlier.
You did.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Project Hail Mary is still in theaters. Please go see it. It was very good. As a book reader, a lot of what I loved about the book is it jumps a lot into the scientific process of, we're going to do an experiment, we're going to look at the results, we're going to iterate, we're going to improve, we're going to figure out what doesn't work, we're going to figure out what does work. And in order to prevent the movie from being 6 hours long, they had to cut like 90% of that from this movie. So all of the major like plot beats are all still there. Most of the dialogue plays out pretty much the same, but a lot of the science had to get cut, which I think is a loss. But I'm wondering, because I know they do have, apparently the original cut was like 4 hours long, and everyone really wants them to release it. I'm curious how much it kills the tempo to have stuff like that in place, especially in live action versus a movie where a lot of it's just, the main character talking to themselves. But overall, this was a great movie, very pretty. Not all of it warrants being in IMAX, but there's several key shots that were so stunning that I'd say go see it in IMAX just for those. But all in all, worth the hype after The Martian. And I'm excited. I know the other book that the author did between these two is going to get adapted now by the same team as well because of how well this one did. So very excited.
From a few people I know of that one, it wasn't that good. At least they didn't like it.
Is there a reason that it was the skipped one?
Possibly. Possibly.
No, I'm very excited. Val also insisted that we go see it at some point, so I know I'll probably end up seeing it in theaters. So I'm very excited because I really loved The Martian. Like, it's not in my top 4 on Letterboxd, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I'll say this. So I know, Tyler, the theater that we usually go to in Rockaway doesn't have them, but AMC has. It's not IMAX, but it's a bigger screen. It's called XL on IMAX. Garden State has it. So if we can't coordinate some kind of a watch, Tim, I would recommend seeing it in the XL format or something. But just go see it while it's in theaters.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. Val really wants to do a date night, go see it. So we're definitely gonna try.
Hell yeah. And then speaking of stuff that was only in theaters for a limited time, they're always re-releasing Ghibli movies back into theaters. And I know right now they're going through the cycle of we've remastered everything in 4K. So I went to go see Kiki's Delivery Service for its 4K re-release. And I was embarrassed because I cried 8 minutes into this movie because of how beautiful it was.
Wow.
Damn, what a bitch!
The opening sequence to Kiki's Delivery Service has a little bit of everything. It was like a perfect introduction. It has this first flight takeoff sequence. It has this night flying over city with the lights. It's got this city pop music bumping for the main theme right when the title drops and the opening credits play. I was in heaven. This is what I got into anime for. And for me, who hadn't seen Kiki's Delivery Service, it was absolutely wonderful. I love this movie.
Nice.
So I'm definitely on the lookout for the rest of the Ghibli movies I haven't seen for their 4K releases. I know the next batch is some point in April. It's either this week or next week that another one's coming out. So I got to see what's in store and maybe hit this up.
Yeah, when you go
Freeman, haven't seen.
Hold on, let me pull the entire list of Ghibli
You've seen
movies.
the all the important ones, I'm guessing, right?
I haven't seen. So starting from the beginning, I haven't seen Castle Sky. I've seen Totoro. I've seen Grave of Fire. I've seen Kiki's Delivery Service. Hold on, we're gonna jump in. Most of these are short films. I've seen Mononoke. I haven't sat down and watched Spirited Away all in one go. I've seen the entirety of the movie as it aired on Cartoon Network Adult Swim, but I didn't just sit down and watch it continuously. We watched Howl's Moving Castle as a group. We watched Ponyo. I haven't seen Arrietty. I haven't seen From Up on Poppy Hill. I haven't seen The Wind Rises. I want to see that. I haven't seen most of the newer ones. Anything after Ponyo, I haven't seen.
I think I haven't seen even more than you, Freeman.
Yeah, I've seen.
You haven't seen Spirited Away?
I saw Spirited Away. It's one of the only ones, but I would see that one
because everyone's seen it already.
That's one that. So, I actually think I was talking about this at work because two of my coworkers, one of them said they watched Howl's Moving Castle recently and did not like it, and then another one chimed in and said I also don't like it, which is Val's favorite Miyazaki movie. I think Spirited Away is probably my top. But I would go see a very pretty 4K one of Spirited Away for sure.
Oh, definitely.
I would see a 4K Princess Mononoke all day.
I would because I've never seen that one.
You've never, God.
I need to rewatch it because I saw it in college. I didn't love it anywhere near as much as anyone else, but I feel like it's also partially I was a young college student watching this, and now as an adult, I'd probably appreciate it a little bit more.
I remember when I was like, I don't know, I was like in middle school when I stumbled upon it on my dad's bootleg black box. It like showed up on fucking HBO one day, and I was like, I tuned in. There's a shot, Tim. I'm gonna spoil for you. but I literally turned into the main character shoots a bow and fucking shoots off a dude's arms
Ooh.
and pins it to a tree. That I tuned into that scene and I was
that
like,
shot was
"What the
badass.
Whoa.
fuck is this? This is crazy." And
That's cool.
yeah.
I mean, my claim to fame with that movie is that I ruined it for my roommate because there's the scene where they meet the spirit of the forest, and I couldn't get over how derpy it looked. And then later on in the movie, there's a very serious scene involving the spirit of the forest where you're supposed to be very like, oh my goodness, and I'm sitting there laughing hysterically because I can't take it seriously.
It's pretty fucking funny, dude. It's pretty fun.
Oh, but then last... Oh, wait, shit.
You know what
I
else
said
is
Fargo on this
comedy fucking gold? Oh, are you gonna talk more about Kiki's Delivery Service?
Oh, no. I forgot I still have more anime movies in here. But let's talk about the other anime movie that was seen, which all of us sat down to watch together, even though you guys saw it earlier in the year. But we're going to talk about Gundam Wing once again for Endless Waltz.
Wahoo!
Listeners, background context on why this watch was so hilarious. I, for years, have seen clips of the shot of Hiro shooting the Wing Zero's Buster rifles down at what I assumed was the White House. And for years, thought to myself, I wonder why the main character becomes the villain in this movie, such that he's like trying to shoot down the world government. So with no context, I wanted this movie going, especially for most of the end of Wing, being like, I wonder when Hero's going to become the villain. And then we finally watched this movie, and I'm like, okay, well now this plot makes a lot more sense. But objectively, the movie wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It has the Gundam movie problem of I'm here to watch Gundams fight, and the author's just like, we'll save the Gundams for the last 10 minutes. Let's do characters.
Let's give each of them maybe 3 shots that are 5 to 10 seconds total.
Yeah,
like there's very little.
It also kills me that the entire concept of like the Endless Waltz version of the Wing Gundam is just the Gundam designer Hajime Katoki just wanting it to look like it has angel wings. There's no plot or reason why it looks like this in this movie.
Nope.
And in the Endless Waltz timeline, the wing has apparently always looked like this.
Yes, sir.
So for me, I was expecting some type of explanation, even just a short technical explanation about why the fuck having these giant wings on it is a mechanically good design, and we got none of that. Like, even the last Gundam movie I watched before this was Char's Counterattack, and even then they go a lot into like, what's the deal with this fin funnel wing thing on the back of the new Gundam? Like, there was a reason given, or there was gravity put on what's the deal with the mobile suits that are fighting in this movie. And there really wasn't. They were just kind of there. Which sucks. They were all so cool and well animated in this movie.
Tallgeese 3, pretty hot.
Very cool.
The, oh god, what are they called? I forget the name of the generic mobile suit. They're made out of the Neo titanium.
Oh, yeah.
The, Serpents. That's what
I'll hand it to Wing. All the jobber suits looked crazy in this show. Like, I don't remember what the generic suits looked like in Iron Blood Orphans. I barely remember the ones from what was that show called? Not G-Quest, the one before that.
To be fair, I think part of the problem is that all of those shows went out of their way to give everyone a unique mobile suit. Like, there's not really big war scenes in Iron Blooded Orphans or Witch from Mercury. There are a lot of like big battles, but they all are unique suits. There's not really a mass-produced suit like there is in Wing with like Leos and Ares and all that jazz. Like,
I went to go look up years between Gundam Wing and G Gundam coming out, because G Gundam, everyone has unique mobile suits in that. But you search Mobile Fighter G Gundam, Google says the genre for this show is romance.
Yeah, no, it checks out. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'll kill you.
Anyway,
you won't shoot your girlfriend. Roger that.
Anyway, Endless Waltz, good movie. And then the last one I had on here, I watched Fargo like 3 weeks ago.
Ooh,
just
nice.
On a whim. I needed something to watch, and Liz noticed that I hadn't seen it. And was like, "You're watching this now?"
The old movie, right?
What was that?
The movie, right? Not the show?
Yes, the movie. I'm shocked that they were able to stretch it onto a show. They had to. I'm assuming they had to elaborate much more on this entire plot line to get it out into a show, because it seemed pretty concise as a movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's. I didn't see it, but I know it's pretty different.
Gotcha.
What's funny? I only watched season 2.
That's
and I loved
very random.
Wait, is it the case
Wow.
where each of the seasons are standalone, or was it one of those things where you just kind of jumped in and you
They
knew
are
enough to get going?
standalone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But sorry, continue about Fargo.
Yeah, sorry. The problem is it's been so long since I watched it, I'm starting to forget what I wanted to say about it. I just remember it being just the setup of being I'm just going to commit fraud until people are dying here was a wild plot jump, and I loved it. Overall, good movie. I would be down for a rewatch. Just now that I've seen it, just to watch it again from that perspective. I think I ended up giving like 4.5 stars. Just because I'm very picky about what I give 5 stars. This was a very good movie.
Forgot what I wanted to say about this movie.
I
4.5
put
stars.
I. The problem is I've seen so much shit since I watched this. I legitimately watched this like, like March 20th or something.
That's why I write reviews, dude.
Yeah.
Partially.
I don't think I actually wrote a review for Fargo, which is the problem.
I didn't remember seeing it show up on Letterboxd for you.
No, because I watched it on like the 15th, March 15th. And the problem is I watched it like right after Kiki's Delivery Service, which was like for me the highlight of that weekend.
It overshadowed
It did. Of course, I'm gonna prioritize the anime over anything else.
I watched Fargo like a long time ago, but
Same.
I remember it being dry, and I was like, "This is whatever."
I remember thinking it was good. I don't remember it being like, I can't wait to watch that again in the future.
Yeah.
I think it's on the poster, actually. I'm pretty sure it's on the poster.
I think it's on your movie poster.
Yeah.
That poster.
The poster that Val bought us years ago that we haven't even finished half of.
Damn, you guys could have finished that like 10 times over by now.
Correct, if we weren't watching so much anime in the meantime.
Yeah, maybe you didn't watch so much garbage anime. Maybe.
No,
Well,
I love anime too much, Tyler.
Let's look at what someone who doesn't watch garbage anime does in a 4 to 5 week period, Tyler.
Yeah. I still need to finish. I said I was gonna take the time to catch up on Free Rent on Sunday, and instead I just played Dragon Age Inquisition the entire day. And I watched 2 movies. But I'm only gonna talk about one of them during this litany of whatever. But first, in between playing Dragon Age Inquisition, I was like, I want a little nippy game to just play, just a little short game. Never play Little Nightmares. That game was fucking weird. I liked it. It was
How long did it take to clear?
like 5 hours, less than that.
Wow.
Oh, that's short.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a short game. I had a lot of people recommend it to me. 3.5 hours it took. Also, it was on, like, there was the spring summer sale. It was $5. I was like, screw it. It was worth it. It was worth $5. I had a lot of people recommend it to me. I also want to play the new game out by the developers that broke away from this studio, to make their own Little Nightmares-esque game. So I wanted to play that at some point. But I played Little Nightmares. It was pretty cool. It was very creepy. Super fucked up. It made me think of some parts of Spirit, like a really fucked up Spirited Away.
Oh, wow.
In some ways. Yeah, like, I don't know how else to describe it. It was cool, though. It was very short. If you like horror games, or just creepy-ish games with some light puzzling, this is for you. I got back into watching a bunch of movies. I watched a bunch, but I'm only gonna note the really good ones that I watched, like Master and Commander. What caused me to?
What is this movie? I've never heard of this.
You've never? Oh, this was like a very popular movie when it came out.
Like
though apparently,
almost Gladiator again.
Yes, except on ships. Like, yeah, this was basically basically what happens is Russell Crowe gets hit by Napoleon, and instead of stopping to like refit and like lick their wounds, he says, "Nah, we gonna go fuck their asses up," and that's the whole movie.
Damn.
It has a lot of really good themes in it, though. It has a lot of amazing action, really good acting. I was like, damn, like, how did I not see this before?
It's been on my list a long time.
Dude, it's very
From my
good.
list.
Um, yeah, I could go into this a lot, but I like it. I think this is like one of those like must-watch movies, especially like see seeing Russell Crowe now and you going to watch like this movie. And I also watched another movie of his that prompted me to watch it after I saw this. Um, but like I'm just like, damn, this dude like gave a shit clearly about his acting, and I don't know what the fuck happened. Uh, Michelle and I are watching the Star Wars movies, the original trilogy. Though part of me wants to, now that we watched Empire Strikes Back, wants me to do the watch order of episode 1, 2, 3 before going to Return of the Jedi.
Yo, try it out. That's cool.
I might not make her suffer through it. It depends how much she wants it, but we'll see. Uh, but man, Empire's so good.
It is.
Like it's like that movie is like I feel like should be a standard of like, if you want to do a sequel to something, like this is how you should do it. Not like by the book, by the numbers, the same thing, but like having the same sort of principles, and then like if you're going to continue this story, like leave us want like with the plot wanting for more. It was just good. It was good. I've also never seen 10 Things I Hate About You. I watched that for the first time. And I'm really shocked that I didn't see this before. And what prompted me for watching this was, have you guys seen Not Another Teen Movie?
Nope.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was like, Freeman might have.
I
And
was
I've
big on
seen
the scary
like,
movie-esque parodies when they were coming out.
yeah, yeah. That's basically what it was, Tim. And it's parodying all of like the '90s, uh, like yeah, all the '90s like teen movies that came out like early thousands. So like you had like Bring It On, She's All That, like those kind of movies, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and one of them is 10 Things I Hate About You is the other one on the list that it's parodying. And I was like, I've never seen that movie. Maybe I should see that movie. And I thought it was hilarious. And I'm like, how did I not see this movie before?
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. Also, just like the ridiculous web that was this plot, Freeman. Like it was it like it start it the whole premise of the movie, Tim, is Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his friend Bernard from the Santa Claus are trying to hook up with this girl, or like they're trying to
Okay.
help Joseph Gordon-Levitt hook up with this girl, and it's the dumbest fucking web of how they're trying to go about doing it, basically.
Okay then.
Yeah, it's really stupid, but I enjoy it. The last thing I want to talk about real quick, I watched this movie Juice. I have rewatched. I haven't put it down yet. I watched it on a whim today after watching New Jack City yesterday, and I was like, man, I want to watch one of my favorite hood movies of all time next to Friday, and it's this. But it's so good. Like, did you guys know that Tupac, like before he died, obviously did some acting
Nope.
in a few movies? Dude, his performance in Juice is so good.
Really?
Wow.
It's actually incredible. Like I am a Tupac fan, but he was a crazy bastard when he was alive. Like he was probably a huge fucking menace
What?
and known as a menace, but man, he was a good actor, and I think partially because this guy was so full of himself, and it really comes out in this movie, but it's so good.
Damn.
He's a
Wow.
fucking psycho. The whole point of this movie, the premise of this movie, is that there are four kids, and two of the kids basically say like, "What I have is not enough. We want more." So to do that, they have the incredible idea of sticking up a convenience store, and in the convenience store, Tupac Tupac's character kills the store clerk, and from there to the rest of the movie, he like fucking loses it basically, and goes off the deep end. And this movie does this weird thing where it turns into like this like, oh, these hooligan kids just doing hooligan kid shit and like doing like, they're all piece of shit teenagers, right? Like in the hood. And then tell me why it turns into this weird like stalker horror movie.
Whoa.
Oh.
Halfway through the movie. Oh yeah, it's a horror movie, and people online agree with me. It's very interesting, and they do it very, very well. Like, especially in Tupac's dialogue. Tupac is like, his character's name is Bishop. Like, he basically just comes out and says like, yeah, like I don't even care about anybody. I don't even care about myself. I'm literally doing this just to fuck with you. And I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Salad.
This is great. I love this so much. Like when I was watching it earlier, like I was like, damn, this to this day, like, and I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched this movie, but I love it. I don't know if it's something that I would recommend to you guys, because like it's one of those movies where I do think it's like I rate it very highly as a Tyler movie, but it's one of those I'm like, this kind of goes to like what we were talking about before with like what we find objectively good and what someone just likes subjectively. Like, I think there is a lot of good parts here, but I think as far as like the box it comes in, is a little beat. Like, there are some things that the director does that is very dated, and I think doesn't hold up very well. But the writing is very good, and so is the acting. It's not like a cinematic masterpiece, but if it was, I would say this is like this could be a 5. This had the potential to be a 5 to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
You won't find that though. You'll see a median of like 3.5, but I personally don't agree with that.
Damn.
Yeah, like the kids act like kids, like these teenage kids, like the dialogue, they all act like, like this is all very believable dialogue, and they all act in how you would think that they would act. Yeah, no, that's it. All right, I'm done gooning about Juice. It's really good. If you guys,
Nice.
if anybody out there likes hood movies, and for some reason you haven't seen this movie,
Yep.
do yourself a favor.
Nice.
I'm not allowed. I'm tempted to watch it.
I'll watch it again with you. Even though
I
didn't
knew
watch
that
it
was
today, I'll
coming.
watch it with you. Yeah. Yeah. What? Fucking. What do you want from me, man? Nothing. Bah.
I actually have some movies for once, which is crazy. But it's because I flew to California for work, so that means I get to watch movies in both directions on the airplane. I'll rattle through mine real quick, although I have one really funny thing to tell you guys. On the flight out there, since I was in the aisle, I could see down what a couple people ahead of me were watching. Guy 2 rows ahead and across from me, the Lazarus show from the guy who did Cowboy Bebop. What's his name?
Oh,
She
I know what you're
Watanabe?
talking about.
Yeah, Watanabe.
Yeah.
Ichiro Watanabe. Someone was watching that on the plane. I guess it's available on the United TVs, but someone was actively watching that through the United thing on the plane, and I just thought that was really funny and random to see someone watching Lazarus out of nowhere.
Have you guys seen it at all?
No, I just recognized the art style, and I recognized a couple clips because he was watching episode 1 where there's like a chase, and I remember seeing a couple clips.
I didn't watch it just because they were doing that weird thing where like the dub was out and the sub was coming later. By the time the sub came out, everyone fell off of it.
I remember also it like being not as good as a lot of people hoped, so that's why I never bothered picking it up. But
the premise didn't hook me.
I just thought it was funny that you guys would get a kick out of that someone was watching that on a plane when there's so much other stuff. But a couple things I watched between the two flights. I I'll start off with the easy one first. I know I always like to throw at least one documentary on here, and it's usually a sad documentary about an actor. But John Candy, who passed away a couple of years after all of us were born, like in the early 90s. There's a new documentary about John Candy, I Like Me, out about him. And it's just another good one. I gave it a high rating on Letterboxd, and I really liked it. It's, all firsthand people who knew him. It's all about him. It's not talking about, anything like some actor going on a tangent or anything. It's just everybody talking about John Candy, showing lots of clips from interviews of his life, important scenes that he did in movies, things like that. So I as someone who didn't watch a lot of stuff with John Candy in it, because if you actually look at his filmography, there's not a lot of super big hits. There's some, but a lot of not amazing stuff that he's in. But he is in Spaceballs is probably the biggest role I've seen him in. He obviously, shows up in Home Alone. But the nicest thing I could say about this documentary is it made me wish I was born a little earlier so that I could have seen some of his movies while he was still alive, because he seems like a genuinely nice guy who struggled with a lot of things, and eventually the stress and everything it seems like it just got to him. So but that was really good. I also watched on the flight out, Tyler, I was going to bring it up for a second ago when you mentioned what's his name from Gladiator? Oh my god, Russell Crowe. But I watched Nuremberg.
Oh yeah, that is something that he was in recently.
And it was good. I don't know if I'd ever want to watch it again. I as someone who's a fan of kind of these like dramatized history movies, I kind of compared it to King's Speech a little bit, that it's a lot of small scenes of people talking with historical relevance. I think I like King's Speech is one of my probably like top 10, top 20 maybe movies of all time. I love King's Speech. Nuremberg doesn't come as close to it, but there are some good scenes between Rami Malek and Russell Crowe. But the movie's kind of long. It kind of meanders in places. There's not a lot of... They're like trying to do this courtroom drama a little bit, and there's this whole thing about like United States justice. But the real meat and potatoes of it is Russell Crowe and Rami Malek talking, but there's not a lot of scenes where they get to really breathe and like stick with it for a while. And the few scenes they do are really good, but it's not enough to carry the movie. If you're interested in it, I'd still say watch it. It's not bad. I think I give it a 3.5, but it's just not like, wow, this is a movie worth watching if you have like no interest or you don't really, if you don't like a slower movie like this, you're not going to enjoy this one. And then as an experiment, I noticed that The Running Man, old and new, had both recently been added to the United Flight built-in TV thing. And I thought, well, this is a fun opportunity. I can compare, because I've never seen the old Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I've never seen, obviously, the new Man from Edgar Wright that flopped last year. Was that even this year or last year?
Last year.
Okay.
It came out on my birthday last year.
That's okay. I was going to say you remember that really fast, but that's why.
That's why.
I don't know if maybe it's just me or something, but I did not like the original. The original is so paper thin. It's like even Arnold's one-liners delivered hilariously can't hold this movie together. It's such a paper thin plot, and like there's just so nothing here. Like I can appreciate the corniness of the fighting sometimes, and Arnold's one-liners are great. Some of the action is good, but then there's really goofy, like even for the time, shitty looking action. Like guys driving around in the stupidest looking little cars, motorcycles that just like rev up to scare people and just kind of are driving at 1 mile an hour, and it just looks silly even at the time. Like I think of things like Predator, and I'm like, that's another schlocky action movie that was really good and interesting. And this was just not it for me. Like I said, a few Arnold one-liners that...
Predator? Are you talking about...
The original.
Okay.
Yeah. 80s action.
No, I just wanted to be sure, because there's multiple like just titled Predator.
Yes, no,
movies.
the original. No, like I think of other Arnold movies like Predator and Terminator that I would recommend 1,000 times over instead of watching Running Man. And I don't know why you'd ever remake it, and I don't know why you'd ever make a barely more interesting remake. I was so expecting to go into this to really like one and not like the other. I didn't. The original, I was just kind of like, this is like over the top, and maybe in the 80s this was good, but it's not resonating with me. The new one just feels like kind of soulless. Yeah. Like it really didn't grip me at all. And honestly, the fact that they make the premise 30 days of running just feels like there's got to be some like the fact that they just keep skipping days, it kind of feels like an excuse to just get new environments around. But a lot of it just seems so convenient. Like at least in the Arnie one, they get dumped in a big combat area, so yeah, there's going to be like combat stuff going on, but this is just like, yeah, he stumbles upon a guy who runs an underground news network. He's not a guy. He doesn't have contacts. He didn't make prison friends like Arnie in the first one. Like it's just he stumbles into stuff. I don't know. And the whole like, oh, my family, like that whole angle is just kind of whatever. I was actually hoping for a really good twist at the end. I actually, watching the movie, I have this vivid... Freeman, you saw it, right?
On the newer one.
Yeah. Tyler, do you care if I bring this up?
Oh, why? I've seen it already.
Oh, you saw it too. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
You mentioned it coming out, and I know you had said you saw the old one. I forgot you had said you had seen both. When he's on the plane... and he's talking to Thanos, and he's like, here's the footage of your family dying. All I could think was, dude, this whole movie is about footage being doctored and bullshit. Why, for even a second, do you believe any of this footage? Tell me why you believe any of this. I thought what was going to happen was he was going to hang up, walk to the front of the plane, say, hey guys, let's team up and go kill this guy. He tried to get me to kill you. You've been told the same thing. Why don't we just put our guns down and like go kill him together? I thought that's where the movie was going to go. Instead
you give
of
the writing way too much credit.
well,
then.
so that is circling back to why I was disappointed. Because I was like, you spend the whole movie talking about he's like talking to resistance people, and he's like, yeah, I see all this doctored footage, you're lying, everything I do is corrupted, and then he just believes it. Like, why? It really turned the whole movie even down from where I'd originally had it. I think I scored them almost the same in like 2.5. Like some stuff was entertaining in the new one. Like the shootout in the the veterans apartments was fine. Some of the driving stuff was cool, but overall it just felt really empty and just like, and the way they just hand wave him into Running Man, and the other characters matter even less than the original movie. Like it's literally just him as the only character in this movie. That's really it. And he's not very interesting. So overall, big duds. What wasn't a dud, Marty Supreme, though.
It was crazy.
I can't believe how much I enjoyed this movie. But honestly, this movie is completely about, I don't know what this fucking asshole is going to do next. And I'm here for it.
That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing the say it's like, I don't know what he's gonna do next, but he's gonna do something though.
Tyler, I want to call it like 50s manic pixie dream girl, not like in a cringy way, but in like a literally I can't predict what's gonna happen next in this movie kind of thing. And as someone
Artie Safdar, whatever the hell his name is, did this movie too, right?
I don't remember.
The same guy who did Uncut Gems.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
We talked about this.
Yes, me and Freeman talked about this, and I also still
Yeah.
want. This makes me want to watch Uncut Gems. Yeah, Josh Safdie.
Yeah, literally all of his movies are like this.
Yes, it makes me want to watch Uncut Gems even more than I already did because that's been on my watch list. But yeah, it's the same energy of just where is this perpetual motion scam artist gonna go next? And it's really funny how the movie makes you root for Marty, even though he is objectively a childish, terrible person. But you still root for him just to see where it goes next.
Every couple of minutes, I just kept saying to myself, Marty, don't do that, Marty. No,
Don't-
no, walk away, Marty.
Can I offer another movie? If you're gonna watch Uncut Gems, you should also watch Good Time.
Good time. Is that another him movie?
Yeah, like he's also in.
Oh
the
yeah,
movie.
Tyler. If you look at the director on Letterboxd, it literally goes Marty Supreme, Uncut Gems, Good Time.
Yeah, Good Time is. I thought Uncut Gems was whatever, but I did like Good Time though.
I mean, it has Robert Pattinson, and not for nothing, I've been really impressed ever since watching Mickey 17, which I didn't love that much, but Robert Pattinson's performance was not the problem with that movie. Robert Pattinson's really been killing it ever since Twilight. It's actually an impressive story of someone who was really shoehorned into this shitty role.
Working his fucking ass off to get rid
doing
of that
crazy
that Edward Cullen
shit,
dude.
It's crazy to think when you look at people like Daniel Radcliffe, who also has done crazy shit but has never really shaken off the Harry Potter man. To see Robert Pattinson, who really has come into I'm an actor.
Because not for nothing, at least on screen acting, I haven't seen any of Daniel Radcliffe's stage acting, but on screen acting, Robert Pattinson's way better.
Yeah, like I said, Mickey 17, the best part of that movie is Robert Pattinson playing the multiple different Mickeys. It's very impressive acting. And even in Tenet, he was pretty good for the little bit he had. I still want to see Lighthouse purely just to watch him and Willem Dafoe go at it, Tyler. I know. Oh, you both watched that movie. Shit.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd recommend The Lighthouse.
You gave it
I
4.
recommend The Lighthouse.
Wait, Freeman scored it higher than you, Tyler, and he's not recommending it.
Really?
This is the difference between liking a movie and acknowledging quality.
I mean, why would
I
you not
actually
recommend
recommend it?
Freeman, your girlfriend gave it a 5.
Yeah.
And you still
Liz would give it a 5. She would give it a 5 though.
Anyway, so that's all my movies. I'm excited to travel again so I can watch more movies. But yeah, overall, kind of a disappointing haul of movies. But Marty Supreme was literally I was watching it as the plane landed to come home, and it was totally worth. So. But now we get to the real meat and potatoes. It's finally time for Tim to have things to talk about in anime, because the anime season of winter 2025, I think, is over. And most shows have finished. Not everything, but
Technically, winter 2026 as it begins January 26th.
Oh, that's right. Winter 26 is now over. And I have 2 shows that are still hanging on. Plus, Freeman, we're a million years behind on Send Us to Be a Hero.
Yeah, we'll finish that by the end of next season.
Someday we'll finish it. I'm going to go pretty quick, but Freeman, we do have some overlap on this.
Yeah.
First things first, though. Tim's goofy pick. Technically, this is a 2-season show. We were just talking about how rare they are, even 2-season shows. Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. This is my Bravern. This is my Apocalypse Hotel. This is my out there pick for this was just so fucking fun. I loved this. Unapologetically, not, again, quality versus care. This is not a great show. The animation is very cheap. It's very over the top. The first time this grown-ass man cried his eyes out as he, Kamen Rider, punched a villain, a street thug in the face, I was hooked. Never got off the ride. Loved watching this every Saturday. If you're looking for dumb fun that is just so hype and so fun, Tojima wants to be a Kamen Rider. I don't know anything about Kamen Rider, and I loved this show. This was such a blast. Freeman, if you ever get to the point where you just have time to watch a fun show, Luigi was watching it. I bet he stopped, but this was a banger. I had so much fun watching
You
this.
start off one of these sentences like, this old man crying, and for a split second I thought you were talking about yourself, not the character. I'm like, there's no way this man.
I knew for a fact.
For
a fact one of you would say that as soon as it came out of my mouth. No, but Tojima is like a 40-year-old man who lives out his childhood dream of punching villains as Kamen Rider. And it was real fun. It is long, and the pacing is a little all over the place. And like I said, the animation is it's very bold line work, like really crazy bold outlines of things. But I just had so much fun with it, I overlooked all the technical stuff. Freeman, you pick. What do you want to go to next? We watched mostly the same stuff at this point.
Let's do the big one. Let's talk about Oshinoko.
Show of the season. Show of the season. Actually crazy.
We came with the coattails of season 2, which I think, on paper, being it's a show, it's a season about a play. So well done.
So well done.
From them to step off of that and be like, all right, cool, now we're going to do a Ruby-centric story arc where she's just being an idol. To know what they did with her foray into controversy media and almost controlling controversy, I thought this was a cool arc to do before obviously getting into the thing we've been beating around the bush for since season 1, is the dealing with the reincarnated siblings plotline. Overall, great season.
Yeah.
Still feel like I actually enjoyed season 2 a little more, but I think that the quality for this season was a huge step up.
So, for those at home, Freeman and I have talked about this, but my MAL scores, I was at 8 in season 1, 9 in season 2. This has joined the pantheon of 10 out of 10s. Like, no episode of Oshinoko felt wasted. The pace, I was gripped every second of this show. Even with the absolute terror I feel at what season 4 looks like it might be, based on the internet. As of right now, I'm kind of putting my hands over my ears and going la 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 la. But this season was fantastic. The whole plot line with Akane dealing with her stuff. Like you said, Freeman, that whole first half where it's the streaming shows that Ruby's getting involved in, like secretly behind the scenes. Then the whole leading up to the movie arc, like it's all so interesting. And I still think the scene in the second to last episode, Friedman, the big one-on-one discussion. I'm a big fan of these one-on-one scenes where there's nothing going on. I was literally, you, me, and Val all didn't, it was like a pin drop scene. None of us were moving or even talking when we were just watching that whole scene play out, and that happens so rarely.
It's good dialogue, and I feel like that's really more rare in it.
Yeah. Second place show for the season. Frieren.
Oh boy.
Terrifying to say for one of my Mount Rushmore shows.
This season was weird because I'll say my biggest issue is there isn't an overarching plot for this particular season. It was a lot of, they could have renamed this show Freerun Journeys in the Northern Continent. That's really what it was a collection of these adventures as they're getting further and further north.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them were good. All of them felt like they could have been plucked out of season 1. And I'm not trying to knock the quality on it because it was just as beautiful, just as, the good fight scenes were just as well directed as the ones in season 1. But I think the lack of overarching plot made me enjoy it less. If season 1 and 2 had aired as a group, I'm wondering if I would have felt differently given that we just came out of a pretty tight story arc with the mage exam.
I think, Tyler, you should definitely still watch season 2 of Freerun. I think it's still better than most television. But the first half is really just a collection of short stories. They could have done they could have done a half season of 5 episodes of just here's the Freerun short stories. And then the second half, I think the last 5 episodes or so are really tight again, but it just doesn't overcome the fact that there really is not, like you said, a big arc to really power through this season. But man, I'm so pumped for season 3 because all the online stuff I see is that this is like the best arc of Freerun is the upcoming arc. And the fact that it was set up in the last like 5 seconds of this season, I'm very excited to see what season 3 looks like next year. So I'm still all in on Freerun, but this season it wasn't a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 9. It's just it does not hold up to the first season in terms of the balance of character moments, world building, and actual plot. This just didn't have the plot to keep the 3 pillars kind of moving forward, but the character stuff is still great. And it's still better than most things, but it's just not as tight as the first season was.
Add on to this is the animation for the ending song was so good. I'm like
incredible.
Very very rarely am I glued to the animation for the ending. Usually they phone it in, but holy shit, this like colored pencil art was so good.
Yeah. The smoothness and the way you can tell it was all like redrawn. It really looks good. And also the opening song by Millet, another absolute banger. Or Millet, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Did she the opening? I know she was the ending song, but
the story of Us is the ending song. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, she does the endings. Yeah. It was another
it's no, because I was mad about who did the openings. It's fucking Miss Green Apple again. They're like the biggest rock band in Japan. So like they did all the Spy Family opening.
Oh
they
yeah.
Did, the second season of Apothecary Diaries. They keep getting added on to shows where they don't match the tone of it, but they're the biggest act in Japan, so they're getting all these anime gigs.
I think the opening was pretty good, and it made it to my playlist. But the ending was just the slam dunk perfect song. I think the only thing we only have JJK left.
Do you want to talk about your last exclusive? Then I'll talk about my exclusive, and we'll close out with JJK.
I have 2 exclusives.
You 2? Oh, sorry.
I didn't put it on here. My Hero Vigilante ended. This season I was gonna classify as the good, not great season. A lot of shows are still very good, and some are even great, but a lot of these season 2s, some of them just fall off a little bit. I'll get to my other one in a second. Vigilantes was still a lot of fun, but just to shortcut it, Knuckle Duster is not nearly in this season as much as the first one, and it suffers for it. It feels a lot more like the kids level side story. There's a lot of goofy moments, and I miss Knuckle Duster just being a huge dickhead to criminals. I miss garbage Batman. There's still very much good stuff in this, and it was still a very fun season. I gave it an 8. Like it's still more vigilantes, and this crew is very fun. It's very fun to not have world-ending threats, although it feels like they can't help but kind of drift in that direction. But like Freeman, just to spoil a little bit, like we start seeing proto-Nomus.
Interesting.
Like
so they start feeding into known plot lines.
Yeah.
Series here.
It's like here's the stuff that led to what Nomus became in the main show, and where those kind of like combining quirks a little bit, genetic instability, like genetic tampering stuff starts here years ago, and it's kind of cool to lay the groundwork. Not much to say. If you liked Vigilante Season 1, you'll probably like this. There were still good plot lines, and the storyline of who this Lightning Face guy is still pretty interesting, but it just feels like, kind of like Freerun in that it felt a little aimless this season. A lot of like very stretched out plot lines and stuff like that. But Koichi is still very fun, and he's still growing into his own as a hero, and like figuring out new ways to use his powers is still very cool. For a power that seems kind of lame, that you like glide along on the floor, to watch him actually start developing his powers to do new things is pretty fun. And then my last exclusive, Hell's Paradise. Maybe it's been too long since season 1. I was not feeling it that much by the end. The show looks very pretty. The whole flower aesthetic is still very nice, very good. This whole season is just exposition in the first half, and then the second half is just fights that take a long time. That's how can we figure out how to kill this Tengen, the Tensen? How can we figure out how to kill one? Oh, this is a really hard battle. We're developing this group of people over this battle. Okay, we're on to the next battle. Okay, we're on to the next battle. It's just, it felt long, and it felt very like, kind of like what we'll get into, Freeman, where there's a little bit of bullshit going on from the plot. But I will say Hell's Paradise is pulled back by the introduction of one of my slam dunk favorite characters in the show being introduced this season. In less than an episode, I was in love with this guy. I was like, this guy is gonna... I can't wait to see him do more shit. This guy seems so cool. I'm really loving this. So there is still good stuff here. I don't know what Hell's Paradise is going to do because we're definitely not done. But they haven't confirmed a season 3 or a movie. I feel like this could be ended with a movie, which I'd probably go see, but I'm curious, so I don't know. But Hell's Paradise was fine. 7. Like I said, this whole season was 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s, so it was all good stuff. Nothing was like a stinker that I stuck with. But also, some of these shows just feel like they felt off, which leads to the last one. The last shared one, Freeman.
See, this is where we differ on whether it's a stink or not. So the last one was objectively probably the most hyped show of the season, which was Jujutsu Kaisen. And a lot of the criticism came off of how this arc... how do I put this?
Confusing as shit.
It opens with an essay. Like, straight up. There's a screen with... if you were to read it in Japanese, it takes about 5 minutes to read from start to finish. Explaining the rules of the culling game. Why they're showing you the rules to a game that has not been established as a thing in this universe or is even happening for the first 3 episodes of the show is a choice. And then by the time you get to the 3rd episode, they ask the question, hey, what is the culling game? But to explain it to you in a conversation would be way too complicated. So I prepared this PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to talk through for 22 minutes. And that's episode 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. So the reality of it is I don't know why they explained it as ridiculous as they did. The villain is trying to seed people with cursed energy to change the nature of how cursed energy works among humans. In order to do this, he needs people to fight each other to build up cursed energy. So he's forced into this battle royale style elimination event where whoever wins is going to have this insane amount of cursed energy. But if someone gets that much cursed energy, it kind of means the end of the world. That's what it is. I explained it to you in under 30 seconds.
They took an hour and a half.
It took an hour and a half. They had a theatrical release for this to try to explain it. And the problem is this is exactly how it was in the manga for this arc. So you have the challenge of taking an arc that has all this heavy baggage and rules to basically say, we're having a battle royale, and if it completes, this is like the world's going to end. So we need to disrupt it, is what this is. Why it was so hard to explain this, I do not know. But
well, because there are 9 rules that are also tenets of the game somehow that all factor into the hero's planning and everything.
So we've got, at the end of the day, Mappa takes on this story arc where there's a lot of exposition that just amounts to a setup for cool fights. And I'm going to go and say that it's got the same problem of Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. You have this questionable source material that you need to adapt into a cool vehicle for fight scenes. And the question is, do I rate this season poorly because it's adapting a dogshit plotline? And do I rate it higher because I think the studio did an amazing job of adapting what the whole point of this arc was, which is these cool fights? And my takeaway from this, especially from like after the last episode, you take the one with the, how do I say it without saying it? Maki's big episode, the Quentin Tarantino. These were all amazing episodes on their own. Overall, I wish, and there's another case where I'm almost tempted to not rate it based on the fact that this is part 1 of 3 and a lot of my, or not 1 of 3, sorry, 1 of 2. And I don't know if a lot of my concerns will just be answered with the second half of the story. But overall, I thought this was a good follow-up to, I almost called it the Shibuya arc, but just the season 2 of Jujutsu. So overall, I enjoyed it. I do acknowledge there are terrible, terrible issues with how it wants to tell its story.
And I couldn't get over that. And also, not for nothing, I, at this point, am not... We had a long conversation about this. We're over 2 hours. I'm not going to belabor it, but I'm pretty tired of the Mappa style of everything bleeds together and nothing has definitive shapes or outlines or anything. Everything is just amorphous blobs of color designed to promote the idea that, wow, action is coming! And I'm just off that train. And then last night, Freeman and I watched the final episode of the season, and they threw out everything, and they were like, "Okay, Tim, here you go," and I loved it. It was
we're stick to very rigid line work for this last episode, and not do our famous blendy style.
And it was fantastic. I loved the last episode. It was one of the best fights of the entire season, if not the whole year. So like, it was great.
Yeah, I ended up going home and rewatching the Domain expansion lead up like 3 or 4 times.
It was fantastic. I was sick. So maybe a 7's a little low, but like I can't. I just remember slogging. This is also the season that made Val stop watching. Val said, "Hey, watch Jujutsu without me. I'm not interested in this culling game thing." So I will knock it against it for someone who doesn't usually drop
Watching
shows.
Bleach, though.
Well, yeah.
I see.
Well, yeah, Tyler, there's a sunk cost thing here. Bleach is like 350 episodes. Jujutsu's like 40. But I think that I hold against it that the culling game is so overly complicated and so unnecessary, and there's all this, we got to get this rules, and we got to find these certain people to to steal their points, to add rules so that we can get some people out of the game and get other people into the game and move people around a certain way. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so extra for just fighting. Just to fight.
It also had the heist movie problem that all of this conversation is at the beginning, and then you're just watching it play out as opposed to having it naturally build up as it's going on.
Be like Baby Driver. Give us a couple small heists in the beginning instead of just literally do exposition and then cool stuff. All right, now I'm done. Go ahead, Freeman. Close us out with the last thing. Tyler's already playing video games. Go ahead.
Oh, To Your
bored.
Eternity Season 3. Before I go too in depth, do you guys have any interest in watching Season 2 of To Your
No,
Eternity?
go for it.
So,
Not anymore.
To Your Eternity has 3 core parts to it. The last part has not been adapted. The first part is what we'll call the past. So we had the first arc where we meet Fushi. He starts meeting his friends. We deal with the idea that he's immortal and he's going to outlive a lot of these people he meets.
Yeah, the
Season
good stuff.
2 opens with him just depressed as fuck because he can't handle the fact that his friends are dying and he doesn't want to make new friends. And that's a big part of Season 2. Season 2 has the introduction of who I think is one of the best characters, Bond, who's basically the Speedwagon of this. And it culminates in this giant siege where the Knockers are attacking this giant castle city. And Fushi has these 3 guys who he calls his immortal warriors. 3 guys who, for some reason, after they die, if he recreates their bodies, they come back. And the big twist at the end of Season 2 was this wasn't an ability limited to these 3 guys. This is just the first time Fushi's left corpses of his friends around. And the gimmick was anyone who's truly attached to him, they didn't move on to the afterlife. They stayed with Fushi, and they could be brought back if he wanted. So Season 3 opens with Fushi waiting until the Knockers awaken again. And when he awakens, he's effectively in the present day. And he brings all of his friends who've still stayed with him back. So we have this large returning cast that takes place in effectively the present day. And I hated it. There were 2 characters. And To Your Eternity was such a unique world and concept, especially with the way they did the siege arc in Season 2 was so good. For them to turn around and be like, yeah, we're now a Japanese high school anime where one of the new characters we're going to introduce is a lolicon. And I'm just like,
no.
Why are we doing this? There's so many other anime that do these kind of plot lines. Why does To Your Eternity need to venture into this?
It was so interesting.
And we spend a lot of time in the present dealing with the future incarnation of the leader of the Guardians. And all in all, it felt like way too much time was spent on this arc, even if it was accurate to the number of chapters the manga had. But I finished it earlier today, and I ended up giving this season a 6. I did not enjoy this. I think I said this before. The whole gimmick of To Your Eternity is that the show is constantly evolving on itself and changing into something else. But what happens when you evolve into something that's not as good as it was?
Oof.
And that's really what it felt like here.
Yeah.
We had all these side characters from previous seasons, but because their story arcs are over, they're just kind of there. There's this one guy from Season 2. He's one of the Immortal Warriors, where his whole gimmick is he's a dirtbag. He loves gambling. He loves drinking. And because he has nothing to do with the plot this season, every time he shows up, it has to do with him losing at horse betting. And I'm like, I get it, but like this isn't compelling storytelling. So all in all, I was very disappointed with Season 3. There is enough material for one final chapter, a future arc that has a very cyberpunk aesthetic to it, where basically a company's figured out how to control the Knockers using computers. I'm curious, but they have not confirmed whether Season 4 will happen or not. Given that there's only about 12 episodes of material left, I'll probably end up watching it because I'm curious. Because everyone, or at least people online, are saying the arc that this covered is the weakest of the entire franchise. And that the 4th season, or the content of the 4th season, should rival the beginning. So I'm curious.
Okay.
Hopefully this was just a one-off. I hope they do another season, because the main people on the production committee rarely do beyond Season 3 for their stuff. But we've seen this proven time and time again that with enough interest, they'll do another one. But I have no
Gotcha.
idea where the interest on To Your Eternity is.
And with that, our interest in doing this podcast is at a big low. So we're going to end it here because we're tired and it's been a long one.
Lord,
So
it's late.
we had a lot to catch up on. It's been a couple weeks since we did a recording. So thanks for listening. For those of you who are still here, we're going to drop and we'll be back next time with a lot less stuff to talk about probably. So it'll be a lot shorter. But until then, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Officer Bubba.
We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.